Fellas, what's good?
What's good, Cash?
What's
What's
up? Hold
good?
up, give me a second.
Can you
Just want to
believe,
double check.
folks, that we have done 24 of these episodes already? Next week's going to be
24 damn episodes.
25. I know, Maury, you weren't here from the beginning, but man, like, what an honor to have this dude right here, like, in the show. Like the show is now officially complete.
Stop it.
Oh yes.
Stop it. I'm trying to catch up with you guys every episode, but it's kind of crazy when you say the number 24 because I came in here at episode 13.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
been wow, it's been 11 already?
11.
You've been oh shit, really?
I joined in
Wow.
13. I think I there was one week where I wasn't on because that was when we were still vetting me for the pod long term. But then there was another week
Right.
that I missed. So I think I've done 9 episodes in total.
Wow. Like,
That's crazy.
time flies when you're having fun. Like, legit.
It does.
Legit.
It's
Damn,
great.
bro. Either way,
Like,
we're glad you're here.
You might reverberate this, Cash, is
Mhm.
I feel the show really started to really blossom once we brought this dude on the show. Like, the energy level
Listen,
went
don't
up.
let him get a big. You see his head; it's already big enough as it is. Please don't.
Yeah, that hat will
Please
keep it in
don't.
check. I if that hat comes off, we'll have like some floss just like fro pop up.
Crazy.
Shout out to Guilty or Strive, if you know, you know.
Well, yeah. I feel like we really hit our stride now, and like we all kind of know how to work with each other, which is pretty good. So there's that. But yeah, before we get into anything, let's just do this proper. Like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gamer Actual, your weekly podcast that talks about the biggest in gaming news. You can find us on all major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, with a visual version of this podcast being available on youtube.com/gameractual. This podcast is also brought to you in part by the guys over at X Elements. To find out more about X Elements and what they do, check out the podcast notes. But with all that said, I'm your host, Cash, and with me today, I got the homie Germ and Maury.
What's up?
Maury.
What's good?
Fellas,
you
what's
know,
good?
he's
What's
in
poppin'?
person today, but hopefully he's lagging a little behind, but hopefully he'll come through.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
Yeah.
Heartless.
How y'all doing? How you guys doing?
We're chilling. I hear, Cash, you went on a little bit of adventure over the weekend. I want to know.
Kinda, sorta. Yeah, I went to Defend the North, which was a lot of fun. I was late for the competition, but I still got to, interact with a lot of people. I got to meet Reaper in person, so that was cool. That was a cool experience. I played a few people as well. I can't remember his name. Something Sunday, but he was a dope Bison player, bro. It was nuts.
Tell us a little.
I wanna
bit
go
about the
next
event
year.
itself. Like, was it organized? How hype was it? I've never been. I've never been to
It's
that.
pretty hype. So I didn't realize it was actually being held at a hotel.
Oh,
So
okay.
so it's had a hotel. I'm not sure if that's going to be the same, but apparently this time around was the biggest the event has been, because it's the 10-year anniversary, which is why it's called DTNX. That's what the X is for. But we had I saw a few people there. Yipes, I got to see Yipes, IDOM, Shine, who's currently competing. I think Shine just won against IDOM.
A little bit of a
who else?
lore dump on that.
Mhm.
Defend the North and East Coast
East Coast
Throwdown.
Throwdown. Yeah.
They're kind of the birth of Yipes. Like, that's where he really like made, like, he helped form it. He really
Mhm.
like made his he really
Name.
made his name commentary and like doing that stuff. Like, it really took everything to the next level for him.
Mhm.
Very important.
He was commentating Marvel vs. Capcom 2 tournament yesterday. If you guys, because I actually have the stream up, if you guys want to check that out. I recorded most of the event when I was there, so go check it out. It was cool though. It was a lot of fun.
I have
Even if I got there on time, I wouldn't have been able to use my controller because it's strictly PlayStation and PC, and I use the Xbox controller. I use the Xbox Pro controller, but I'm gonna get the
Converter?
it's called, what's it called again? Wingman. I'm gonna get that so I can use it for next time around. But yeah,
nice.
looking
That's
forward to it.
dope.
It's
Element
it's
has
super hype. Yeah.
X Element's got news out of Defend the North. We had a player out there, Hey I'm Majin. He finished He finished third in the Tekken 8 bracket. So he made it all the way to losers finals, and then he also finished third in Third Strike. So yeah, he was a total killer.
Where did he travel from?
He lives in the New York area, so he lives locally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he killed it, man. Shout out to Bello. Thanks, Bello, for that shout out.
Bro, you should have said something. I'm still gonna say that
next time I got you. Next time, but or anyone who doesn't follow the Element Twitter, man, we post all those shout outs in there. Links in the bio. Yeah, it was a great weekend. So as of this year, this is Element's third podium finish in Tekken just this year. So yeah, we're killing it. First two podium finishes in a major like Defend the North. So we're really excited.
Isn't this year the first foray, Element's first foray in the FGC?
Side, yeah, for the fighting game side. We started in January, and we have Street Fighter, we have Tekken, and we have Guilty Gear teams formed as of right now. And we have the top three finishes in ad events. Midwest Fest, we finished second, and Defend the North, we finished third in Tekken and Third Strike, and then 33rd at Evo. So yeah, so overall things are riding high, man. Sorry, this isn't the shout out Element podcast, man, but I just had to let the world know about that.
Yeah, I don't know, Germ, that sounds like a very good transition to me.
Exactly,
just saying. Shout out to Element.
But yeah, so are we gonna do what we're playing this week? Cash, what's your vibe? I know you've been grinding.
What am I playing?
What else have you been playing?
So what I've been playing this week?
Get ready. This is gonna be really exciting. Yeah, I would never guess. Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 and Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh my god! I would have never guessed.
I would have never guessed.
Right, but I've also been playing a lot of Guilty Gear Strive as well because I want to get better at my Nago gameplay. So there's also that. So I feel like I'm getting into the spirit of just like advancing in my current fighting games now. I think that's where I am because I can't seem to put them down right now. So, I always want to play them. Like right now, I'm itching to go play Street Fighter. No word of a lie. I want to get off stream. I want to get off this fucking podcast. Play Street Fighter.
Chat. I know there's only a couple people listening right now, but we need everyone to come through, and I need everyone to hear this loud and clear. Cash over here, he says he's a variety streamer, but I'll sense the winds of change. He's about to become an FGC streamer. Hardcore.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Ooh, I just got another follow from Mary Hames. Am I saying that correctly? If I am not, I apologize, but welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna be variety, but I'm gonna be heavily leaning on a lot of FGC stuff until I get to Masters.
The water.
So I have a plan for those series already because each week I'm gonna do it. It's gonna called the Road to Masters, right? I'm gonna have someone come in to coach me on my character for like an hour, then I'll train for an hour, and then I go into ranked. So it's like overall it's gonna be like a 3-hour stream. I already have it planned out. And then I'll repurpose that stream into a YouTube video. So I kind of have an idea of what it would look like. So I'm going to just keep working on that.
What about you, Maury? What have you been cooking up in preparation for the Concord launch?
Dude, it's actually been, I've kind of finally gone back to my backlog. If you don't know, one of my favorite developers of all time is Supergiant Games. They did Hades. And it would have been just this past week that I finally wrapped up my Transistor Platinum, which was awesome. But I also went and got the Pyre Platinum. 2 excellent games. I love everything Supergiant does. Both of those games touched me deeply, probably Pyre more so than Transistor. So I got 2 Platinums this week out of both of those games. Wow. Really good time. Yeah.
Oh, man. I think I only have 1 Platinum trophy in all my year of gaming. All my years of gaming. I think I only have 1. And I think it was... What's that Walking Dead game? The Telltale Walking Dead game?
Oh, really? Season 1?
That's the only game that I've gotten platinum. And it's all you have to do is finish the game.
Exactly, because the game was very generous with that. I got the achievement for that too. The game is very generous.
Let me ask, how many 100% / platinums do you have, Cash?
I'm not sure. I have to go check.
I have 66.
something is wrong with you, and you need to seek professional help.
Touch grass, my friend. Like the Midwest, I hear the weather is pretty fair most of the year, so go out and touch some grass, my friend.
Yeah. No, I probably should have touched some grass. It's pretty bad. 66 is abysmal, but yeah.
Take that lovely lady.
The fact that you know that off rip is insane to me.
Oh yeah, I'm proud of it.
Name? What's your girlfriend's Sedina?
Sedina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sedina. We talked about coffee on a previous podcast, previous stream of this this fabulous gentleman right here. You take this dude to a coffee shop so he gets outside. Can you do that for me? High five.
And let him literally touch grass. Like go outside and kneel down and put his hand on grass.
Just get a grip.
Grab a handful.
I'm gonna Sedina. Yeah. I'm gonna be following up with that as soon as this chat comes up. Don't let me down. I'm holding you to it.
Bello says I only have 13.
On my side here. I bet you. So I'm not gonna let that slide. Okay.
No, she's on your side for sure. 66 is insane. 66 is bad.
Yo, Bello just said he has 13.
Let's go, Bello. Let's go.
So put that in perspective, Maury. This guy here, Bello, he loves his adventure games and his single player games. You have 5 times more platinum trophies.
Not only that, but Bello is, I won't carbon date him, but yeah.
Okay.
Way up, leagues above you, Maury. So I'm just saying, goddamn.
I'm telling, it was some lonely years in there, Jets. I'm not gonna lie. Didn't really leave the house. Just it's slowed down a lot now. Everything's better. But there were some years there, bro. There were some years there.
Maury the prodigy, like legit. That's dope.
So what you need to do something big when you get to 100, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna get to 100 like probably next week.
Do you want to throw that challenge out there?
Yeah, next week. Yeah.
No. How about this for a challenge, Maury? If you're willing to accept it, you get to 99 platinum trophies. The community gets to decide what that 100th platinum is going to be.
Down?
That'd be fire. I like that.
I'm down, but they're gonna punish me. They're gonna make it like Street Fighter 6 or something, and I'm gonna shit myself every day just in fear and terror.
We'll let the community decide. You down?
I'll do it.
Are you down?
I'll do it.
I already got you on the hook for one thing, so I don't want to embarrass you.
No, I'll do it. I'll do it, Jerem. You win.
All right.
What was his challenge? Like, we have a challenge. Hartley hasn't done his challenge yet, which I'm not gonna let him forget.
Heartless is ducking that challenge. I can see he's not here, so he's ducking the challenge. But
yeah, he needs to.
All right, pizza bet on that one, Maury. I'm gonna be calling a debt on that. It may take you 10 years to get to 99, but whatever. We're alone with that one.
Honestly, at the beginning of the year, my goal was to get 100 this year. To get to 100, I think I started at 50. We'll see. I doubt it'll be 100 this year, but I'll probably be in the 80s by the end of the year, I'd imagine.
80s?
Yeah, that's easy.
Man said 80s? It's easy.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? You know what it is? I'm comparing you to I got kids and a wife, so. Yeah. I'm like, how the fuck would I do that? But then again, I'm not you. So
right.
See, I don't have 25 of my offspring running around, Cash. I don't know what that's like.
Sure.
All right, bet.
I'm sorry.
90. You reach that 99, and we're gonna that's gonna be the question of the week. What is Maury gonna get his 100th platinum on?
Don't fuck me over, chat. Don't fuck me. Anyway,
we are going to.
I can't wait.
No. Jerem, what's on the docket for today?
For me, just game wise, I'm on the Street Fighter grind still. I'm still rocking Marisa. That's really all I've played. But I have been dabbling a little bit with Guilty Gear Strive, and since Evo, I've picked up Lee in Tekken 8, and I'm actually enjoying him a lot. His gameplay is fun AF, really, really fun. So for this episode, though, we might have a surprise guest pulling up because we have some really juicy Bungie news going on this week. So I'm hoping that this mystery guest might roll through. Well, we're going to try to hold off on that juicy news as far as we can. But Moria, what games came out this week?
Yes, of course, folks. Some games released this week. First up is Minds Beneath Us, which came out on the PC, and that was on July 31st. Minds Beneath Us is a sci-fi thriller adventure. I've not heard of it, but maybe one of you two has.
No.
Cash, if you want to put up a little gameplay of this, I don't know if you do, but just the art style of this has got my attention. It just put up like 5 seconds of it, and you'll see what I mean. It's the art style and the music is really captivating. Yeah, go. It's really it's got like this symphony kind of arts, like really goes hard symphony music and a side-scrolling adventure style format. And it got my attention. But
Okay. Yeah, and it looks like
yeah,
a
take a look
little
at this.
more.
Like,
Oh,
What does this
gameplay
remind me
wise, it
of?
looks cheeks, but like just the
Mhm.
music and the narrative seems interesting. I don't know, just the art style.
yeah. I think I like the art style. Ironically enough, if this game was on PlayStation and it was like
Wow.
$15, I'd
Z
probably buy
Knight.
it.
I wanna be 7-Eleven. I gotcha.
I could
Those
see me playing this and just like being captivated by what it is that these speech bubbles are saying and just getting more and more into it. But
this looks like almost like a cyberpunk, like noir type of game.
So yeah, my understanding is
yeah,
more of the description says in a society that has become fully automated with AI, very cyberpunk. You will be
Mhm.
trapped into a body that doesn't belong to you, making choices for him and face the coming fate together. So, folks, if mine's beneath it speaks to you, and you have a PC, go tap in.
feels like the basic plot line of any anime in the last 20 years. But yeah, but yeah,
Or
Pretty much.
yeah, it might
yeah.
not be too original, but you know. Um, we also had Sword of Convallaria released on the PC, iOS, and
That
Android.
that name in itself sounds so convallaria.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Sounds the name sounds a lot.
Because that name goes
Yeah,
hard for
yeah.
sure.
No, it's cool. I like the title a lot, and it's on. Ironically, it's on PC, iOS, and Android, so it's available on mobile platforms, which we don't get a ton
This
of.
looks good though.
It kind of
Yeah,
reminds me of Fire Emblem Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah,
Like a lot.
I
Like
got
you'll see
Fire
right
Emblem.
here. Yeah.
I got
Like,
Fire Emblem for sure. Yeah.
Final Fantasy Tactics is on my Mount Rushmore of all time gaming. So like I'm down with this.
For
Well,
me, it's Chrono Trigger because that's my experience with games like these. So that's where it's taking me back to.
yeah.
I definitely play this.
Mine is Fire Emblem Awakening. That's like one of my top 3 games of all time. Oh my god, what a masterpiece!
Is this a Switch game?
No, just PC, iOS, and Android.
PC and iOS.
Bro, I could see this being on a Switch because I would play this on Switch. I could see myself playing this on the go.
Yeah, I bet you this is on Steam Deck though. So I mean, if you have one of those, I would love to play a game like this on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
But
This is
this
something
like,
I
sort
play
of
on the go.
2.5D graphics with the pixel like style, I really gravitate towards. That feels like a nice warm sweater, like because I love that era of gaming, So I'm down.
Yeah. So yeah, we had sort of Convallaria, and we also had Kitsune Tales, which released for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and X, X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. So pretty much everywhere. And that came out on August 1st. And it's a 2D precision pixel-based platformer. I'm pretty sure that Germ, you said something about this before we hopped on. Do you have any opinions
Cash
on it?
just put up a couple seconds of video.
I'm playing it.
Hey, whoever made this game, they're copying Nintendo's homework, but just changing it up a little bit so they don't get caught. You'll see, see what it'd be right now. But yeah, it's a platformer in the essence of Super Mario World. You jump around, you throw. If that's not Super Mario, I don't know what is.
That's pretty much Mario. You're right about that. With a little bit of Pokemon mixed in with the meet up the characters and dialogue and all that stuff. I can see that.
Like, see if that's not like
like
they put an AI filter on Super Mario World.
Oh, this is literally Mario. Oh, this is literally Mario.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you can change. Oh yeah, Mario for sure.
Isn't this an interesting trend right now we're seeing in the industry where games are coming for Nintendo's IPs? It feels
because they're not doing it anymore. They're not doing these things anymore.
Yeah. I think they sense a weakness with Nintendo while they're prepping for the Switch 2, and now they're just gonna, hey, we're gonna pump out these titles we've been holding on to, because if it was actually released against a real Nintendo title, you know, we wouldn't sell. No,
Separate thought though, because it's not in our show notes, but this week a lot of people, a lot of content creators were able to get firsthand experience with Star Wars Outlaws. I actually missed it this time because I was sick. I got the email and everything. I did everything to partake, but I was so sick I couldn't participate in the event. I would have been able to play the game. I think you would get about how many? I think they said
it
like
was 4 hours.
probably about 4 hours of gameplay. You would have gotten 4 hours of gameplay. So I reached out to someone um at Ubisoft, and they told me unfortunately that window has passed because they had different waves. They did the first wave and the second wave, so I thought I could have got it on the second wave, but they told me the wave that I was on was actually the last wave. I was like, shit. But yeah, I wish I was able to, because then I could have given you guys like first-hand experience of what the game would be like.
Yeah, but, thanks for doing your job, Cash. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
right.
Thanks
I was
for
sick, you bastard.
I'm kidding. Next time you throw me that code and I'll do the work. God damn me. I would have killed to play Outlaws this week. I couldn't even done it.
We'll put that on the docket for the next episode because the game should be pretty close to being out by next episode, right?
I'm hearing mixed reviews though about it.
Yeah.
Like some people are saying the game looks fun.
The game seems to be getting a lot of hate graphics wise. So far people are not feeling it. Especially on the Xbox right now, but But me being like
it's up and down with the
graphics second, I always take that stuff with a grain of salt, you know.
No, but it's Ubisoft, so I feel like people are kind of expecting like better graphics from Ubisoft when it comes to certain things. I think that's what it is.
To be honest, like just to dive into that kind of tangent for a moment is I really feel strongly that games should be judged on gameplay first, graphics second. Granted, graphics enhance games, but enhance the experience. But Breath of the Wild is a perfect example. Like such a deep game, but it's not graphically intense, right? It just has a beautiful art style, right?
Exactly. I think it's how it's designed. The art style makes it. They could get away with a lot because of just the art style.
Yeah, but what keeps bringing you back? The gameplay, right? So
the gameplay, yeah.
You know, that's how I ultimately feel. And you know, being an FGC guy, I will load up an old fighting game any day of the week as long as there's another person that'll throw down with me. You know, and so the graphics really don't hold me back from enjoying it. But I don't know. What do you think about that, Maury? Let's dive into that for just a second before we move on.
Yeah, I mean, I think graphics are not as important to me as art style. Like games with a great art style age well regardless of how graphically impressive or unimpressive they are. So that's why I prefer games like, for example, Supergiant. What they're doing is not deeply graphically impressive with, I mean, Transistor in 2014, Pyre in 2017, Hades in 2020. Like none of those games are very graphically impressive, but artistically they look phenomenal. So I think a lot of times people in the industry go for realism too often. And when you go for realism, you kind of damn your game to a rough fate, no matter how good it looks in the moment, because realism is going to continue to evolve over time. And it's why I love to see games go for a unique art style over realism. So I'm not big on graphics.
What's that one with the alligator we saw at Xbox Showcase?
South of Midnight.
South of Midnight. Yeah. That has a very unique looking art style, right?
Yes,
and,
I think, and it would age well. Like
a
lot of games when you go for hyper realism with some games, like over time, if you revisit it, you're gonna be like,
I think probably
that didn't age well.
Would probably be a perfect place and point for what we're discussing. Like the game tried to go for this super realistic, like type of gameplay or experience, but the gameplay, in my opinion, was lacking. It's basically backpack this baby.
Oh, you're about to trigger Maury.
Wait. What game?
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. I feel like it's a perfect case in point where graphically the game tried to like be a really beautiful game, like a movie. Yeah. But gameplay wise, it was lacking. And
okay, so I'll be honest, as someone who put almost 100 hours into Death Stranding,
Jesus Christ,
folks, the gameplay is not lacking.
Was that one of your platinum games?
Dude, I got so close and I just gave up. It was so unbelievably stupidly hard at the end. Like there's just some things that are so menial. Guys, I'm gonna clock out.
I don't want to dunk on one of your favorite games.
Have a good pod.
I don't want to
Okay.
dunk on one of your favorite games, Maury, but I think that is the opposite of what we discussed with like the Zelda. Like, it really tried to go hard with the graphics
Sure.
and not so hard with the gameplay. But that's all subjective.
No, and
You know-
I definitely agree with you that like the gameplay design of Death Stranding is far more minimal, but I think it's deeply therapeutic, meditative, and phenomenal. But I do agree that yes, Death Stranding is not an example of a game in 10 years that's going to age well because they went for realism. And
Good.
it's so funny. I was playing Alien Isolation actually yesterday. I finally booted it up again because I've been meaning to do it for a while. And yeah, it didn't age well. 10 years later, and like the realism is not very very realistic. But folks, okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Just read something in the chat. But nevertheless, yeah, no, I think art style is always more important. And Death Stranding is one of those games that went for hyper realism, and therefore it'll look rough in 10 years. But
Yeah.
I stand by the gameplay being excellent.
And I
First and foremost, let's shout out to
standing by it.
before we continue, shout outs to everybody in the chat. We got Bello, we got Gossi, we got Lord Hades, we got 876 Cubes. Is there anybody else that I'm missing? And anybody else, welcome in. We appreciate you guys for pulling up every week when you can. Yeah, so we are going to actually see if we can pull in our guest.
Yeah,
I love it.
We have a special guest. We have some juicy news about a certain company that a certain person here either really loves or really hates. Or really hates to love or loves to hate. It could be all of the above.
I'm so terrified he's gonna glaze. I love you, brother, but I'm so terrified you're gonna glaze.
To our esteemed guest, I've sent you the link if you can hear me.
We got you the link, Hades. Pop in when you're ready. Let's keep this train. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep this train.
Sure. What was I saying before I stopped? I was about to say something.
Star Wars Outlaws. You were supposed to be playing it, but you got sick and felt like not doing your job.
Whatever. No, it was more.
You were hyping up the chat.
No. Oh no, there was one game that I thought that aged very well, and I feel like a lot of people agree with me. Was Heavy Rain. People think that Heavy Rain aged super poorly.
Oh, it aged bad. Oh,
it aged like
Jason.
They use the same thing multiple times. The same voice line.
For me, a game that will always age well will be Metal Gear Solid, the OG one, and Resident Evil 4. Those ones will just stand the test of time, even though they have remakes of them. The original will stand the test of time.
You know what's crazy? I've yet to go back to Resident Evil 4 because I'm so into Zelda, and I made a promise that I would not play any other game until I beat Zelda, any other story game, because obviously I'm playing Street Fighter and Guilty Gear. But
folks, we'll hear some of Cash's thoughts on games coming out in the industry in 2026, since he feels like beating the Zelda games first.
Pretty much. And you can consider it over if I go immediately into Tears of the Kingdom afterwards.
You should. By the way, you should.
I
think you should.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's so worth it, and like it's gonna be so. I can't wait to hear your opinion because somebody.
Here's my points on that for you, Cash. Sorry to cut you off there, Maury, but I think for your case, Cash, I think you should just enjoy the game. Don't worry about making content for it because you really seem to be vibing with that series. And if you try to make content for it, I think it's going to take away your enjoyment of the game. Just play it. Just enjoy it.
Oh no. I still make notes.
Content about that game at this point. Don't try to just enjoy it. Just love it.
No, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. But I also have notes that I'm writing. I have my notebook right next to me when I'm playing the game.
I think we all as gamers need to have that one series that just like we're not trying to monetize it. We're not trying to make money off it. We're just that's our bread and butter. That's how we relieve stress. It's how we relax. We need to have that one series or game that does it for us. For me, it's Soul Calibur.
I found today? You know what I found today? The rubber suit.
Oh my God! Yes, yes, it's so good. It's so good in like the rainy section.
That challenge was kind of crazy because I was like, "How the hell do I get these friggin' balls up here?" And I was like, "Wait a minute,
get excited."
You're not an idiot. And then I put it like on like a slope and hit that shit and it went up there. I was like, "I'm just gonna keep putting all of them here then." And I did the same thing and I solved the puzzle. I was like, "Yep, I'm not an idiot."
See, I'm so excited because knowing that you're playing Breath of the Wild now. I would have played Breath of the Wild when it came out, actually a little after it came out, like 2018. So I had to wait 5 years for the sequel. I'm so excited to hear what it's like for you to go straight from Breath into Tears, because you're
Tears.
going to the leap of how much better Tears is to Breath when Breath is already an amazing game. You're not gonna have to wait 5 years. You're gonna go right into it. I can't wait to pick your brain. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, the game's phenomenal,
I
bro.
personally have not played the new the last Zelda I played, really all the way through was Twilight Princess. I played a bit of Skyward Sword, but I didn't finish it because the game was kind of a slug. But I had it on the Wii, so it was kind of not that enjoyable control, so I didn't finish it. But yeah, I can't wait to can't wait to try.
Oh, I have it too, Maury.
Yeah.
Bro, give it the time. Yo, literally, Germ.
I don't have it digitally.
You don't have it digitally?
No.
Thank God. Physical all the way.
Physical all the way, bro.
Yeah.
God, I'm so tired of these digital only nerds. You're ruining the industry, goddammit. It's the reason something shut down this week, but we're not there yet, folks. We're not there yet.
Is that supposed to be a slight, Maury? I feel the daggers. I feel them.
It was directly meant for you. No, folks. We're gonna get there in a little bit, but we also had a couple other games come out this week. One of them
lovely. I love how you went back on track there. It was very nice.
Sorry about that tangent, folks.
Guys,
it wouldn't be the podcast if we didn't tangent on something.
I'm not.
Our tangents.
The gamer tangent podcast. How about that?
God, that's a hit. No, but I gotta say that our tangents are always like well used. Some podcast tangents are like abused and pointless and worthless. Ours are good as shit. But I'll tell you what game I don't know whether or not it's good as shit. That was a terrible segue. Please don't crucify me. Mars 2120, folks, which came out on the PS5, the PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on August 1st. It is a Metroidvania adventure. Is it shit? Does anyone know? Has anyone played Mars 2120?
Well, the description, it's basically, if anyone's seen, think Dead Space, but in 2D form, like 2D side-scrolling form. You go to this place, it's abandoned, you do the adventure, monsters attack you, you upgrade your equipment, but in Metroidvania style. Yeah. If you're into that, I think you might like this.
Okay, cool. We also had a Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which came out on the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, and that was August 1st, and it's the remaster of the action-adventure classic starring Jango Fett. I've never played this game, which is criminal as a diehard Star Wars guy, so I think I'm going to have to download it and give it a shot.
I didn't know this game existed.
I had it for the Nintendo GameCube. I started it for the Nintendo GameCube, but I actually borrowed it from a friend, and that friend, remember I told you I had friends that constantly moved? So that was one of my friends who moved away. So I had to give the game back, and I never got to play it again. So I'm going to actually go back to this. I'm definitely going to play it. But the game was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It also looks like it aged decently well.
I like these deep dive into Star Wars lores, like when they kind of explore characters that are kind of adjacent to
when
the Jedi,
it's done right.
I really like it. I really like it when Star Wars does this. Do it more, I want to know more.
But I
do it right.
I have to say this: the people working on this is Aspire, and I hate Aspire.
Oh, really?
Aspire are the folks that released that Battlefront collection earlier in the year that literally didn't work.
Oh yeah, the one that had all those online problems and kept crashing and stuff.
I bought it. I had it pre-ordered. I had to contact PlayStation support, and I argued, bitched, and moaned with the person on the other end, saying I wanted a return, and they're like, or a refund, and they're like, well, we can't do that because you've already played the game. I'm like, I don't give a shit. The game doesn't work. Basically, if you don't know this, in PlayStation's policy, if you request a refund after you've played a game, it's impossible for them to give you a refund. But I was so insufferable to that person without being a Karen, because again, folks, I want to say this: these are regular people that have to follow the rules, right? I was nice to that person.
I need to speak to your manager.
See, I don't do that shit. But I am insufferable. Like, I will continue to tell you the same thing. Like, they're like, well, have you?
So you're not a Karen, you're a Kevin.
I have a solution for that.
I'll take it. I'm a Kevin.
Hear me, game companies. Hear me loud and clear on this.
If
you buy just a digital version of a game, there should be an option where if I'm not vibing with the game, I can just gift it to someone else. Ditch that whole piece of hardware, the whole file or whatever, send it to someone else, and then they can play it if they want to play it, if they want to try it. And now my hands are clean of it, and now a person owes me a favor, because I gave him a game. I think it would be a win-win.
And this is the whole problem, bro. They're talking about, did you reboot your router? Sir, I tried every goddamn thing in the book. Give me my money. Like it could not have been worse. But folks, anyway, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. I'm done shitting on Aspire.
But
We also have a game
gaming
called
companies. Hear me loud and clear. That would be dope if you do that. But,
yeah. Please stop screwing me over with digital purchases. Thank goodness you're here. Released on August 1st on PlayStation
This
5.
looks funny as hell.
This looks like an Adult Swim cartoon.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I see it. And this is
Cartoon Network show. Yeah.
This
I
is
don't know if you guys remember whole
right?
movies. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It looks funny as hell, bro. I don't know if you guys remember whole movies from. Oh, you probably wouldn't know that, Maury, because you were probably still in diapers when that came on. But whole movies was a very, very funny show on Adult Swim. I can't remember the actor's name right now, but he was the voice actor for the coach. He plays Archer and also Bob's from Bob's Burgers. What's his name? That voice actor that plays Bob's from Bob's Burgers.
I don't know his name, but he's done a lot of great projects.
Yeah, so he was the coach in whole movies, but the show is very funny. It was a very funny show.
No, I just want everyone to know real quick. You heard Cash going for that little jab there about the diapers.
Yes.
Just so you know, the only reason he does that is because he's mad he's fossilizing. And with that being said, we move on to...
Whoa. I am older than all you all here. So don't you be throwing gas. Don't you be throwing mud.
So you see?
No.
So you see? Yeah,
Fellow
Legends, me, and it missed and kind of hit.
Fellow Legends here.
How do you feel about
Fellow
that?
Legends is like, he's the gaming daddy of this whole community. You know, and I mean that in the nicest way.
More like gaming daddy. But hey, we're not going to say
he's been around. Anyone wants to hear some stories about gaming in the New York scene, you pull up on Bello Legends' stream and he will lay on your ears some sweet stories about all sorts of gaming situations.
Plus he's from the era of the birth of the FGC, which is the Chinatown Fair. So
yeah, exactly.
Sure. Yeah,
he Justin Wong used to pull up on him on the cab and try to smoke this guy. That's why he's called the Legends on his name.
I mean, so it sounds like I've got some fossils in here with me, not just Cash. And speaking of fossils, Tomba Special Edition released this week
fossils.
on PC, PS5, and Switch.
You are in for it now, bro. This is I'll let you cook. I'll let you finish your statement, but I'm not gonna let that slide.
No, it's okay. I deserve it back. But I mean, you can't, guys. That was a great segue.
That was a great segue. I gotta give it to you.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Tomba Special Edition came out on the PC, PS5, and Switch this week. And my understanding from talking to Germ is that Tomba is a game that would have released on the PlayStation 1.
First of all, it's Tomba. Please say it right.
Tomba. I'm sorry. Tomba. But yeah, guys, this is Tomba. And Germ was telling me that it had some similarities to Souls games even way back when, like with its challenge.
Let me tell you about this game. Let me lay the sauce on you with this game. Like,
give it to us.
You know, if anyone has, I think anyone could empathize. You know, you're growing up, you're playing a game, and there's just like that one that you play, and it's the one that got away. Like the one you don't remember how you played it, you don't remember what you played it on, you don't remember where you were. But the game has such an impact on you, and you've been seeking that feeling or seeking the game ever since. This is that game for me. I have been literally wanting or waiting for this game to become available for this long, and now it's finally here, and I am over the moon. I'm so excited. Nowhere is No. This is one of the most cult classics. So what makes this game really special and so ahead of its time, it's a PS1 classic, where it's a fully open platforming environment where, just like in Zelda Breath of the Wild, you can go straight and take out the main boss if you wish to. You can go straight to him and end the game in 5 seconds if you want to. Or you can go around the different areas of the world and explore everything and then circle back around and then just blast the boss when you're like super powered. So it was ahead of its time in those regards. It was Elden Ringing before Elden Ring ever Elden Ringed. It was Breath of the Wild before Breath of the Wild ever Breath of the Wild. It was great.
Yeah. So for the record, I've added it to my wish list because of Germ's recommendation, folks.
And I'll give you a heads up, Maury, for that challenge I laid out to you earlier. This is going to be the game I vote for your platinum.
Wow.
This is going to be the one. So yeah, the community rally behind me.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see the trophy list to see if it's a challenge. But yeah, folks, Tamba. Did I get that right?
Tamba, yes.
Boom.
Check
Tamba's
this game out.
Yeah, check out Tamba. And last on our list, and with no DLCs or expansions releasing this week, this is our last game of the week / expansion that released. And folks, that's Valorant. Valorant is now live and available. It's no longer in closed beta. You don't need a code. And, I got to be honest, I've played quite a bit of this game and I don't love it. And I know that's weird because I know it's very loved. But if you like Valorant, go tap in. It's available on consoles.
Throughout the esports world, there's quite a vibe with this. Valorant now coming to console. A lot of people think that it's going to take away from existing scenes like COD and Apex and scenes like that. So there's a little bit of fear of this title, to be honest. Like if it's going to kind of take the breath out of other scenes, but we'll see.
All right, so before we do anything else, ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed guest, ladies and gentlemen, Hades has entered the chat.
Hades, let's go.
How are we all doing tonight?
Let's go.
Let's go.
We have an honored guest pulling up today. And we got some juicy news that Hades, I think, is going to have a lot to say about.
Oh, yeah.
Before we continue. Yeah? All right. So before we continue, Hades, what games are you playing right now? I know we missed that segment. Kind of want to hear what you got to say.
On the fighting game side, I'm playing some Streets. I took a pretty sizable break, but we're back at it. I'm playing some Guilty Gear.
Okay.
And, of course, I'm playing the game that I pulled up to talk about. Destiny.
Right.
So here's my question. Do we jump to that one now, or do we go through our regular run of show?
I don't want to mess up your whole flow. We can save that.
I think we gotta give Game Informer its due because this is probably the saddest news we're gonna cover probably all year.
Dude,
very, very tragic.
Dude, yeah. I genuinely cried when I guess it was Friday. I cried Friday. I took a minute and I genuinely fucking my eyes welled up. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. What are we talking about, folks? Gents, what are we talking about? What is the tragic news about Game Informer?
Okay. For all the boomer gamers and beyond, the generational impact of Game Informer unfortunately has come to an end. They did announce this week that their website and all related publications has closed. So Game Informer is officially gone. And what is sad about this is reports are also reporting that all staff has been reportedly laid off, which is very, very tragic. I'm sure there's a lot of talent at Game Informer, a lot of legacy talent there. I'm sure they'll land on their feet, but I don't think it can be understated the impact Game Informer has had on huge generations of gamers, all going probably all the way back to the mid 90s, right? Early 2000s.
Yeah.
Hey, 33 years.
Who doesn't remember Game Informer, the GameStop employee trying to push that magazine on you when you're trying to buy a game? Like who doesn't remember that?
I used to get it because I used to sign up for the GameStop. I don't remember what it was, like
that
the membership thing.
Description, discount
because
thing. Yeah.
But that was at the time when once you buy a game, like once you meet a certain threshold, you automatically get the membership. So that's what I used to do, and I used to get it for the annual membership every year because there's always some games that I used to get at GameStop.
What I loved about it too is a lot the cover was a poster. You could take that off and put it up on your wall. Who out of our generation of gamers didn't do that when there was a cool photo on there? You know,
yeah,
that was great.
I got one over there. It's not
really
a Game Informer, it's a Nintendo Power, but yeah, that Zelda. I don't know if you can see it really on the webcam, but to the left of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
I got a Twilight Princess from a
Nintendo
Power.
Game Informer, and plus I think Game Informer is really what ushered in this this era of sort of games journalism. Like it wasn't really considered that seriously. IGN and Game Informer were kind of
Yeah.
You know,
But
they're kind of
IGN
a
kind of they
pioneer.
kind of cannibalized the market. IGN
They
just
did.
came in and just
Yeah.
like whoop, and swept up everything.
So I have a lot of thoughts if I can jump in.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
So I am younger than some guys in here, but I was deeply impacted by Game Informer because I was one of those kids who walked into GameStop to buy a game, and I had that magazine pushed on me, and I'm so glad it was because I was like, damn, I get something in the mail every month. That's awesome. And I remember when I subscribed to GameStop Pro for the first time, and they gave me 3 Game Informers in the store at the time. It would have been like 2011, 2012, somewhere in there. It would have been Dishonored 1, Zelda Skyward Sword, and Borderlands 2. And I took those 3 magazines home and I just continued reading them. And it was one of the first things that made me want to do some sort of games journalism. I thought it was so cool that these people were writing about games. I thought the covers were so awesome. I loved like the insider information of it. And so I faithfully collected the physical editions that you would have gotten through that GameStop Pro membership until they eventually switched it over to digital. And about 6 months back, I remember the Game Informer team was going around on different shows, and they were basically telling people without saying it out loud that they were in a bad spot financially, and that because GameStop has been in such a rough spot, and GameStop owns Game Informer now, they needed more people to sign up for their subscriptions. So 6 months ago, I would have bought a year subscription to Game Informer, and so I've been getting them in the mail physically now for the last 6 months, and I'm just totally gutted because it was such a talented team. It was a skeleton crew, and it has been a skeleton crew now for about a year. GameStop fired a lot of the staff on there, and it's really disappointing. You know, Game Informer was the last major U.S. Gaming magazine. You know, the UK still has like The Edge and a couple others, but
I think the 3 main ones left, right, are PC Gamer, Euro Gamer, and Nintendo Power, right? They're probably the 3 like last staples.
And the
PC
Edge.
Gamer, but like for US based, I'd say PC Gamer because you can get them at Micro Center.
Okay,
you get the Micro Center.
Yeah, no, and I just I'm sad to see the physical. I mean, this is like, I think that we all know that the writing's on the wall for physical media. I think that this is a major blow, though. And I think that it just speaks to how much of gaming, not only in the way we play games, but in the ways that we learn about them, is digital.
I think this speaks to bigger things, like as a society, as just the world. Physical media, the way we consume content in today's world, physical forms are just really the way of the dodo at this point, you know? So is this
because it's less convenient. That's what it comes down to. It's convenient. It's a matter of convenience, right? Not only that, Game Informer, I don't think, and I hate to say this, it's like they can't compete because like the minute any kind of news breaks, you could just go on YouTube. You find it immediately.
Let's kind of point the finger at ourselves a little bit. You know, podcasts like these have kind of really stolen the thunder of, you know, something like a Game Informer. Because before, that's where we used to get all our gaming news. And now you can get it anywhere, like us was just saying. Yeah.
But here's the kicker, though, Jerm. They also haven't adapted to the landscape of what this media thing is now. Like a lot of people aren't. And that's why they die out.
And I will defend Game Informer a little bit on that front, just because I've kind of kept up with their work. You know, they've been, for starters, their magazines now. I love what you both said, Cash and Germ, just that like, because now when a news story breaks, there's no time to wait for 4 weeks for your magazine to go out. They've really moved away from breaking news in their magazines, and now they do like deep dives with
editorials.
the developers.
And,
you know,
to add on that, Maury, a lot of the more hard-hitting stories we've covered every week on this show has come from the Game Informer website. Almost all of them. So, you know, they've been a great source for us to produce content with. But
that's my complaint is I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know, I think that if Game Informer, and they were doing a lot of YouTube content, I genuinely believe that Game Informer as it existed may not have been the most profitable thing on the planet, but it's very obvious why they got shut down. And it's because GameStop is in such an abysmal place that they just couldn't afford one more paycheck. And that's why I'm so disappointed is that Game Informer was still doing great coverage and they were adapting with the market. They were still doing digital media. They were still using, you know, video content creation like YouTube, and they were delivering a physical product as well. And I think the real reason that Game Informer is gone now is because GameStop is in a complete shithole, and they're going to be slowly following.
Be on the lookout for us to post something on Reddit, guys. I've been doing research and I'm trying to find the main people that have worked at Game Informer for a long time, and I'm going to post their links on the Reddit page. Please drop them the follow once I find it all, so you can support them in whatever their next whatever their next.
I love that.
So
I love that.
Show them the love, because gaming journalism literally wouldn't be where it is today without Game Informer. We owe them a debt. Yeah.
Facts.
Maybe this is rose-tinted glasses, but I feel like the gaming journalism, when it actually came out in magazines, was much higher quality than the articles that we get from outlets such as like IGN and Polygon. And
because IGN wants to be the first out. So it's like nowadays, no one cares about the truth or quality anymore.
One of the most,
we're gonna dive into that later with like clickbait and why it's important to not make sure you actually read your news. We're gonna dive into that later, because if you're taking a story based on a 1-second headline, it's going to deceive you, and that's what the IGN tends to do. You know?
A lot of the times, the people they have on the story don't even seem like they know that much about the games that they're covering either. Like the guy they have on Guilty Gear in particular, I'm not the best player of this game, but I can tell he doesn't really know what he's talking about.
Yeah, you can see that with the way they review fighting games quite often. This is some dude in an office that just pushes buttons, and now they're trying to tell you.
You would think they would get a pro, like somebody who actually knows these games. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like have them on the payroll.
Yeah,
specifically to write articles about the game. Like
exactly,
pay Jay Wong to write an article about it.
It's that simple. It's that simple, bro.
And that's why this is just so disappointing. Is that I think I love what Hades said. Is that in a world where physical media magazines was the main way we got gaming journalism, I just feel that the integrity of that journalism was so much more protected, because it wasn't about getting it out first. It was about telling it the best way. And this shutting down, this being the final really US based game magazine, or at least one of them, I just think it's going to put us in a worse spot.
I equate it to this example, like IGN and these other platforms. They're kind of the fast food of games journalism. But something like Game Informer, PC Gamer, etc., those are the slow cooked, home cooked family recipe that takes hours and hours to cook. You know what I mean? You get the most. It's a soul food of journalism, and that is dying right now. We need to, So yeah, check that. Pay attention to the Reddit. Sorry, shameless plug for the Reddit, but this is the one time I would say, please go to the Reddit, support these people that have given us this content over the years. So,
yeah.
Wow, I'm very sad for those guys. I really am. All right, so next up here, we got Humble Games. We kind of touched on it last week. They are back in the news, but we're going to look at it from a little bit of a different angle this time. So Humble Games, they announced some closures, and this is actually an IGN-owned company, so they're being swept up in the layoffs and the closures led by IGN. So, IGN, like, what the fuck? So they're doing a restructuring of Humble Games. They did close some studios. They laid off a 36-person team last week. So what's the real noticeable thing here is it says some of its more popular IPs, such as Slay the Spire and Signalius, are up for we don't know what's going to happen with them, if they're even going to be released at all, if there's going to be crunch, if there's going to be Amir Fasali, studio director of Dead Mage, the team behind the development of Wizard of League, is worried that the restructuring could impact their project. We do not want to make any changes, Fasali tells The Verge. However, we're not sure what changes will be forced on us, because everyone in the publisher we collaborated with in the past 2.5 years is suddenly gone. Now Dead Mage has to wait and hope that the new team will deliver the various publishing services that we expected from Humble Games. So essentially, the indie developing scene has lost a big ally towards the quality they're trying to put out. So the reason why I included this story was because I think it ties directly in what we were just discussing with Game Informer, is these big published journalism, if you want to call it that, are really kind of taking away the soul of developers and the soul of the industry. And I don't know if we want to point a finger at it, there's a discussion to be had here, but as a Slay the Spire fan, I'm genuinely very concerned. So
I'm not sure what the state of Humble Games were prior to the acquisition by IGN, but I think IGN, you report games. You had no business being a part of like game development. Just my takeaway from this. You had no business being there.
I agree.
But again, I don't know what their financial situation was, because it had to be a reason why IGN was able to acquire them. So in my mind, I feel like they probably weren't doing.
Does it kind of feel like IGN's like trying to become like the Time Warner of like gaming, just in general? Like, like
gaming,
Time Warner have
information,
their fingers and everything. Yeah,
they want to be the information broker. That's pretty much what it feels like from my perspective. Like the fact that you're acquiring so many companies like Rock Paper Shotgun, video game dev, what else is there?
There was a couple others.
There's a bunch. They acquired several. Game business, game industry biz.com.
Game industry biz. That's another one.
Another great.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
So they've acquired a lot, bro. So it's like it's a scary prospect to even think about. Like, what does that landscape look like moving forward?
What do you think, Hades? Do you have an opinion on this?
I don't really have too much to say about this. I don't know much about the games in question, to be honest.
No, we're talking more about the industry and the fact that IGN has kind of acquired a lot of like outlets, like gaming news outlets.
Homogenizing like information is never really a good idea.
Yep.
Right.
You want like competing sources so that you can get various opinions and try to formulate what's actually happening. So I would say, yeah, it's not good.
Well, that's what it feels like. That's really what it feels like. And I feel like I'm more turning to independent news sources for my information as opposed to going directly to IGN. I mean, I still look at IGN, right? Just to kind of gauge like what is happening. But for the most part, I'm not looking to them like my primary source of information.
I use IGN to see kind of what should be on my radar, because they do tend to report what comes out first. They tend to be the first. And then I use that as trigger words to eventually find the actual facts and other sources. That's what I tend to do. And,
one of my biggest issue is when it comes to any kind of information source is the fact that most of them nowadays are slanted a certain way when I'm just looking for just the facts. I don't need your fucking opinions. I'm gonna be honest. I don't need your opinion. Just give me the information I am looking for. Don't tell me this person did X. I don't care. Give me this information about this particular thing that we're talking about. If I want to know that shit, I can look for that myself. I don't need your help.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about it.
I know they say do the research is kind of like a trigger word in today's world. But what that generally means is don't hop on Google and click the first link that agrees to what
with
it is
your take. Exactly.
You need to actually read several opinions, several articles, and then kind of come to your own conclusion based on those facts. So
that's exactly what it
is. That's do your research,
Yeah. And I just think IGN at large, I think that because this is one of the reasons why I appreciate smaller operations like Last Stand Media, despite I may not agree with everything that Colin Moriarty says, because sometimes he has some pretty nutty takes. But nevertheless, I appreciate that they're a smaller form of games journalism, because when you look at IGN and how much money goes into there, how many publishers and developers pay them money to look at games, review games, whatever, it can be a little dishonest at times when you see that score next to it. And that's why I like something like Last Stand Media, where they don't have any money from any developers or publishers. It's a raw, uncut thought. And I think just at large, I think IGN trying to buy up stuff, like it's the same thing that I think we're talking about with Game Informer, right? What in the world, what business did GameStop have buying up Game Informer? And do I believe them buying up Game Informer bought Game Informer time? Yes. But I don't believe that a good oversight for Game Informer was GameStop. And I think it's the same thing here with Humble Games and IGN. I don't believe that IGN is equipped to do the work that they would need to do to have put Humble Games in a good position to win, nor do I believe GameStop was in a position to put Game Informer in a position to win. So, I would prefer to see less of this in the industry, less consolidation, less buying up of different properties and developers and whatever.
I have exhausting. A thought on Game Informer. I know we moved past them, but it just popped in my head just now. I think a missed opportunity by Game Informer was to try to dive in more into the growing esports scene. It's slowly ramping up, and it's gonna start blowing up here very shortly. I think if Game Informer would have somehow either partnered with growing esports or esports leagues and become like an exclusive distributor of that news, it could have maybe helped. But I don't know. That's a kind of a wish. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I really think the website didn't have to go. I mean, discontinuing the magazines, I could see that being like, a bummer, but at least still have the website going. But it seems like they're shutting everything down.
Yeah, and it's because GameStop is the shittiest company that ever existed. I worked for it for a time, and my God, I could throat punch every person that I worked for.
I'm so sorry.
Did you work at a GameStop, Hades?
No, but I've heard.
Dog, it was hell. I hate GameStop with everything in me. And it's like, I think the shitty
Maximilian Dude, that was one of his first jobs.
Yeah, he did say that. I remember him saying that as well.
Yeah.
I think that's how he met his wife too.
Yeah.
Yeah, underpaid, overworked. It was outrageous. But nevertheless, I guess I don't think there's anything shittier that GameStop could have done. Not to jump back to the last story, but I don't think there's anything shittier that they could have done than just delete all that great work from those great journalists off the internet permanently.
Oh, it was just so that those gentlemen will land on their feet in some other capacity because they're just talented writers and talented journalists. But I just hope that they're able to bounce back from kind of their dream ending and they find somewhere in the gaming industry that will, they land on their feet within gaming and they don't go somewhere else.
I need to know the exact the reason for the closure. I don't think we have a concrete reason. I would love to see if we could get someone from.
It was such a
laid off.
Game Informer never really made a statement.
The show.
Yeah,
I would love to get someone to be on the show to like kind of give us some more information as to why that happened.
I mean, from what I read, they got told that Friday or whatever day it was, you're getting sent home. Here's severance. You're gone. I don't know if there was I genuinely believe the reasoning behind it is as simple as Game Informer was maybe profitable, but not by a mass extent, like not by a large margin. And GameStop is in the hole. They are in the red and they can't get out. And I think for them, they were like, this is one way that we can cut spending. I mean, GameStop has not been able to figure out how to compete with the digital market. And because of that, they keep losing money. And so they ended up killing Game Informer in the process, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think that's probably one of their prime ways of having like some kind of income too, because you also had your customers sign up for Game Informer like a weekly, like an annual subscription of Game Informer that you would get.
But it's only digital now.
Probably, to be honest, if I had to suspect
digital now, I didn't know.
For about a year and a half, 2 years, it's only longer than that. It's only been digital for like 3-4 years.
Something, it's most likely advertisers and sponsors probably left Game Informer. So their magazine and their website, I bet you probably that's where their main cash flow was. Advertisers and ads and stuff within their magazine and within their website.
And they're probably
those things left them to go find other, and that money just ran dry. And without that money, because that's where the majority, when you're in these kind of businesses, that's where the majority of revenue is going to come from. So without that, you're dead to rights. So
and a lot of companies. So like I said, and this is why IGN was able to like buy up a lot of these companies. A lot of these websites aren't doing very well. Wait a minute, what just happened? Did we just
Luke
get
Nukem? Luke Nukem, what's good, my friend? Thank you for following.
We got to know. Thank you for the follow because I heard it, but I didn't see it. Thank you for the follow and welcome into the stream. Welcome in.
What up, Luke?
I've seen you around. It's great to have you. Great to have you here.
And look at Hades, bro. Hades holding down the chat, giving an exact answer as to what we're doing. Hades, you're goated. Dude is in the pod and in the chat at the same time.
I didn't even see that because so guys, for you guys who don't know, I'm manning just like the visuals of the podcast right now. So most times I miss the chat because I have to transition between the overall like the overlays, like the topics we're on.
We're here to entertain, so we have to, we're
so I didn't see
what we're doing here. Yeah,
right. So welcome in.
Yeah, welcome in.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right.
Hades, you need some kind of badge or something, bro. You were like MVP, both viewer and co-host.
Hey, you will never catch Hades sleeping on the job ever.
No,
he's just always on top of it.
We got to pay this man more. Speaking of somebody who didn't.
Speaking of additional pieces of shit within the gaming industry. See, I got it too. I can segue too. Let's go.
What are we talking about?
Bungie is in the news, but not in a good way. The CEO Pete Parsons is VG247.com is reporting that the Bungie CEO reportedly when Sony acquired them on February 2022 for $3.6 billion. The Destiny 2 CEO Pete Parsons has seemingly spent over $2 million in classic cars and motorcycles via auction site. Bring a trailer. A number of the accounts in question's purchases have come in months surrounding mass layoffs at Bungie. Parsons has faced calls to resign following yesterday's announcement or the day's announcement that the studio is laying off 220 staff with a further 155 set to be integrated into Sony and 40 being spun off into new PlayStation studios, which will take on development of one of Bungie's blah, blah, blah projects. In this announcement, Parsons wrote that Bungie had been overly ambitious. Our financial safety margins were subsequently succeeded, and we began running in the red. So, I would really like to lead off with Hades here, if you're down or...
you are the go-to person when it comes to Bungie information, so please.
I got a lot to say.
Yeah.
To be honest, I couldn't give a fuck about the cars. He's already a rich guy. That didn't affect the company. That's his money. Whatever. He's a piece of shit human being. That's not the issue here. The irresponsibility. This man said the last expansion, the final shape, had to knock it out of the park due to their financial woes last year after expecting a lot more than they got out of that shit-ass expansion. And they knocked it out of the park.
Yep.
It, by all reviews, is one of the, if not the best expansion ever created.
Yeah.
And now, despite these employees, who I assume went through massive crunch to get this delayed expansion out on time, are out the fucking door. And the entire future of the franchise is in question. They don't even know what they're planning to do from here, really.
Yeah.
We have the Hades, 3 big seasons this year.
Real quick, Hades, I'll just jump straight to that headline. So to give you context, what you're about to say is... So the reports are also reporting out this week that Bungie is not working on a Destiny 3. So it's like, what are they doing? Like
nothing.
Yeah.
This is the problem. My understanding, Hades, I'd actually like to have you clarify to make sure I'm not incorrect, is that they were working on something called Payback, but Payback was not Destiny 3. It was like a third person, like gotcha Destiny game. And that was the only thing that they've been working on in preparation for in preparation for Final Shape being the last expansion. The only thing that these fuckers were working on was a Destiny gotcha game, not Destiny 3. A Destiny gotcha game and Marathon, a game that is dead on arrival. I don't
know if it was a gotcha game. It was a mobile game, though, I believe.
Yeah, dude.
So probably a gotcha game in that regard. But yes, they're massively successful flagship franchise that is their only fucking source of income.
Yep.
All right.
They aren't planning to invest in that. They have a bunch of other like small projects they've announced over recent years that have been canned.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing they have in the oven right now is Marathon, which they're betting a lot on. And that game to me sounds like a mess. It's this late in its development cycle, had massive revisions to the core
gameplay. Gameplay. Yes. God, man.
You being a Destiny guy, you really love the game, right, Hades? So how do you feel as a fanboy? You know, it feels like your loyalty has not been rewarded. You know, I would feel kind of salty. Yeah.
To support a developer who treats the employees that provide us with the content we love. They treat them like shit. And how am I supposed to feel good about playing this game? Like the best I can, like, what am I supposed to do? Post on Twitter so the employees who are now searching for jobs to fucking make rent? Or what is that gonna do? It feels awful. And it's all due to abysmal management over a period of I don't even know how long. It's been a long time.
I don't like that guilty reminder of trying to play a game, and then if you do a microtransaction, you'd be like, "Oh, this might save someone's job." Like I don't like that. It feels.
Hold on for a second. So let's turn to the chat real quick because I see some very interesting things in the chat. So one shout outs to Reaper. He just asked this question. So he said, so we are talking about the expansions. His question was, but did the expansions sell well? ROI matters over quality on this case for a business point of view, which I totally agree with. So I'm gonna ask you this, Hades. Did it sell well?
As far as I know, yeah, it sold well.
Yeah. It didn't. I did some reading on it this week. It sold well. It didn't sell the outrageous numbers they would have needed it to sell in order for them to make up all the mistakes they made during COVID. Well, and I don't think that's a good measurement.
I reverberate what I said about this is a 10, 11-year-old game, something like that, right? I would understand if this was year 3. I'm going to be like, where's Destiny 3? They're not working on it. But this is year 10 or 11 of a game. Like, what are they doing?
Franchise,
yeah. Like, well, if you weren't working on a Destiny 3, like, what the hell,
Right. Also, to turn back to the chat, Pizzo says Concord is DOA, unfortunately. Jim Ryan must answer for his crimes this generation.
Hear me loud and clear, Pizzo.
Is that a trigger? Are you trying to troll right now?
No. He says unfortunately, so that means he's like saying like the game looks good, but it's not going to go anywhere. Unfortunately,
I'm gonna carry Concord on my back, even if it's a dead fucking carcass. If I'm the only one playing, I'll buy microtransactions every 3 hours to make sure those employees stay up and running. Anyway, I'm done. You're probably right. It's probably not in a great spot. But no, I mean, yeah, it's like it's probably, honestly, he says it out loud, right? He says that their financial margins, they didn't keep within them, probably because during COVID they overhired. They probably overhired to get this expansion out on time because they were already behind. And then as soon as you realize, oh, we can't hit this outrageous number that no one could ever hit with an expansion, we're going to lay off 220 people. It's inexcusable. It's unacceptable. And I'll tell you what, I like what Hades said.
I have one thing to add to that. We watched it yesterday on Hades' stream. Actman did a great video on this. So let's compare and contrast CEOs here for a moment. So rest in peace. What was his name, Hades? The old CEO of Nintendo, during when Wii U and all that was not doing too great.
I'm gonna say the wrong one. It's one of
I don't say. I can't.
Isn't that Amada? No,
the guy who passed away. The guy who passed.
Hiroki Amada.
He took a pay cut during these rough times so that Nintendo could stay in the green. And people could keep their jobs, and the business could march forward to eventually launching the Switch, which brought the company right back to the top. Now, and let's compare that to what we just read about. You have, and I'm not gonna, the guy, he worked probably hard to get acquired by Sony to eventually get the point where he could buy classic cars. I ain't knocking him on that. But what I'm knocking him on is the fact that he did not, as a CEO of the company, feel the need to make a sacrifice for the safety of his business to make sure that it stays healthy.
In fact, you may remember about 9 months ago, there was another round of layoffs. This is not the first round, by the way. This is the second round. And
so
when asked by news outlets,
the shade on leadership. Leadership is these are what we need out of the leaders, not just in gaming industry, but just in general across all businesses. We need leaders like that. Like, rest in peace, you beautiful man of Nintendo. You are a true pioneer that the game, the game is companies are missing. Not just gaming, all companies, So
now, I need to say something because I liked what Hades said, and that's that. Yeah, the $2 million on the classic cars, that was already in his salary. Whatever. There's something that Pete Parsons did that was very sick. I don't know if you guys saw this. I'm sure that Hades did, but there was a young woman that was working at Bungie, and when she got laid off after she got out of that meeting that morning, she tweeted out that Pete Parsons, 2 days before he knew that he was going to lay her off, invited her over to his place to see his $2 million of cars. And I'm sorry, that's fucking sick. I'm sorry, that's fucking sick. If you're about to lay
I actually hadn't heard that. That's foul.
Sony did the same thing. Remember,
bro.
Earlier this year,
with Jim Ryan, he went and visited London studio.
He visited a London studio, and then the next week closed the studio.
So
and
here's
and
here's what I'm going to say. That kind of activity is vile. It is disgusting. That's number one. But number two, I want to say something, and that's that in regards to Pete Parsons earning whatever inordinate amount of money he makes, absolutely not. I'm going to say this right now. If within 9 months, your studio, your developer is laying off over 300 people and repurposing another 150 of them to another company, this company, Bungie, this developer has been in this shithole for a very long time. And I didn't say this when it happened, but I'm going to say it now. One of the worst decisions Sony could have ever made was purchasing Bungie. I think the only reason that Bungie is here today is because Sony bought them. I don't think
bold, but I mean,
no, that's factual.
Cooking.
Yeah,
I think that's a bold statement. But
and they needed that investment.
Yep, and they spent way too much. They spent way too much, and this is my whole complaint, right? You don't lay off that many people, like upwards of 400 in 9 months, if you were crushing financially. That means that they are so far in the red that they're cooked.
I'm going to put myself in Pete Parsons' shoes for a moment. Like, imagine Element gets bought by Team Liquid, and then all of a sudden I'm walking around with $100 million in my pocket, like, and I buy a car. I mean, that's not that big a deal. I'm sure we would all do the same thing, if we were put in that situation. But what I'm advocating for is, like, don't be a greedy asshole and do what is necessary to keep the people that work hard for you. You should be working triply hard so they keep that job.
Yeah, but they're not going to, because most of these guys that are the suits at these companies don't love games. They love money. You know,
they love money, pretty much.
I'm pretty sure Pete Parsons was at Bed Bath & Beyond before. No, I'm not kidding. If you look it up right now, I'm pretty sure that he was a CEO at Bed Bath & Beyond before he got to Bungie.
Wait.
It was either him or it was either him or it was the VP of. I think it was the VP of GameStop. I apologize, but regardless, these are people that don't love games. If you're looking at the VP of GameStop who laid off all these Game Informer employees, or Pete Parsons, it was the VP of GameStop, by the way. Why the fuck did we hire a Bed Bath & Beyond exec?
Let's keep it 100 for a moment.
What are we doing, brother?
You don't need to be a good. Sorry, Hades. You don't need to be a good game developer to run a business. That's not necessary to be a CEO. That's not necessary. You just have to be a smart businessman.
No, I agree, but I think in order to appreciate the industry and respect it and protect it,
you have to be a part. You have to be a part of the. You got to be a part of it. You have to be a part of it, because that's the only way you're going to understand your customer base, your fan base, your customers.
What do you got for us, Hades? What do you got?
Word on the street is once the final money from the Sony acquisition comes in, he's gone.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think he's going to have to be replaced based on this news. I don't think there's any way that whatever it is that Bungie's working on next will survive based on news like this.
One more
side note, Pizzo said something in the chat also. I think Jim was a corporate investor, darling, that climbed his way up instead of making decisions from a consumer standpoint. It was just profit margins, etc.
Very clearly.
Bring it back around to that Nintendo guy. Like that guy had been with Nintendo since the dark ages, and he bled Nintendo. So,
I think it's the culture, though. It's like I feel like it's the culture of Nintendo, not only just Nintendo, but it's just like,
let's look at Nintendo as a whole. Look at the heads of their companies: the head of Zelda, the head of Mario, they have been the leaders of those franchises for as long as we've all been alive today. That's leadership right there. That is leadership.
No, but they're more likely to take a pay cut.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Those leaders will take a pay cut before they do anything else, bro. Before they lay anyone off.
Yeah,
what do you got for us,
Hades?
Regarding the pay cuts, I don't remember if any of y'all saw during the last round of layoffs. They were specifically asked, would you consider? They asked if executives would consider taking pay cuts in order to preserve more jobs, and they said absolutely not. With a smile.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. I remember.
I'm not joking. I feel like the executives at Bungie are like 80s record label executives. Like they're just up there with a bunch of like hookers and blow making crazy decisions.
Well, let's also look at this. Bungie is an American. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Hades, but Bungie is most likely an American-based studio. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, they're in.
So they come from Microsoft, and now they're being bought by a Japanese company. I don't know if there's like a culture difference there, but
there is.
So,
something else.
He's gonna get replaced. Sony's gonna be swift, and they're gonna replace him really quick.
Yeah,
I feel it.
Yeah,
the takeover kind of have to at this point.
And I mean, he'll get.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
considering what they have going at, they're highly invested in Concord going forward, and if Sony kind of stands behind, a person like him, it's just gonna hurt their whole catalog. So Sony's gonna act real swift here, and it's gonna be the wind to change real fast.
Maury.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, he'll get a golden parachute on the way out. I have another thought, but Hades, what were you gonna say, my friend?
Regarding Bungie always being seemingly in the red, how much is Microsoft worth right now? I'm actually gonna look it up because Microsoft was in talks to reacquire Bungie.
Yeah, so this is so interesting because this is my second part of my sentiment. I'm gonna do this first, and then I'll do my second part second. I love that Hades brought this up. There's only one way that everyone wins here. There's only one. First, Sony has got to get rid of this blood-sucking company. They have to get rid of Bungie. It's not working. It is a bad acquisition, and the best decision that they and Microsoft can make is Microsoft going to Sony and saying, hey, Halo's been in the shitter for a decade. We need Bungie back. And the only way that these companies win, Hades, it's insane. But it's the only way. It's the only way.
Bungie is not the Bungie that made Halo.
It's not. It's not. But the name,
I'm with Hades on this one because I'm gonna throw another company out there that you'll probably, as soon as I say it, it'll click. Blizzard. The talent that got Blizzard to where it is, that put Blizzard on the map, they're long gone.
Long gone.
They don't work there no more. So now look what's going on. Blizzard's been slapping its face, tripping and slapping its face on the ground over and over and over again because the talent that got them on the map is gone, and it's probably the same with Bungie now.
But you're correct. I do agree. But in the same regard, I think the four of us could do a better job than 343. I'm sorry to say it. I think if you threw four of us in a studio, I think we could make a better game than 343 has made in 10 years. All that said, yeah, probably not a beneficial thing. But I'm not going to
say something so slanderous, but but because put your money where your mouth is on that. Be careful where you're treading. Because game developers, just be careful. Tread light. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
I hate 343. But with that said, there's one more piece of information about this that we've not covered yet, which is huge, and that's that since Bungie was acquired by Sony, they've been an independent developer underneath Sony. So they are not a Sony first party studio. They are not required to do anything that any of the top dogs tell them to, right? They're able to stay multi-platform, all that. With all these layoffs, they are now a first party Sony studio. And that means that they're now being overseen by Herman Hulst. That's probably why Pete Parsons is going to go, because his position isn't entirely relevant anymore. And so they no longer have all the privileges that they did when they were first acquired, which I believe they never earned to begin with. But with that said, Bungie is now going to be an entity that operates under Sony's guidance completely, no longer as like a nudge, but as a strong fucking hand. And I
just urge caution with what you're saying, Maury. It sounds, there's just some assumptions in there, rightfully, something's based on facts, but just tread lightly. I feel like that's kind of dangerous waters there, but.
What did I say?
But I'm here for it. I'm here for the discourse.
In regards to what? In regards to what?
With them being just a dead in the water studio, you know, and that kind of stuff. I think any studio can come back to prominence as long as they have the right leadership at the top. And currently, yes, Bungie has trash leadership, obviously, but they just need the right guiding hand. And you know, they like, let's look at Destiny for a moment. Like, say it got put in the hands of this. What is the Arrowhead? Is that the company name, right? The Helldivers guys. Let's just say, like, if
they're
they
not
were,
owned.
you know,
They're not owned
or
by Sony.
you know, people like that are managing a company that's actually doing the right things became and helped bridge the leadership gap that Bungie's having. It would really help, you know.
Yeah, and I mean that's what I'm saying is that's why I said at the end I think it's a good thing that now Bungie will be a first party studio, because I don't think they can remain independent any longer. I think their leadership is I think they're so misguided. I think they spend too much money. You know, that was one of the first things Sony said when they acquired them. When they went in there, they were like, well, they make some great stuff, but they have no idea how to manage money. Hades, what's up?
What you got for us?
The reason I had brought up how much Microsoft is worth is because before the Sony acquisition, Microsoft was actually in talks to reacquire Bungie as well. Microsoft, I looked it up, is a $3 trillion corporation. Right. And the reason they didn't go through with the acquisition, remember, they're buying everything.
Right.
They said Bungie has too high a burn rate for a $3 trillion corporation to consider acquiring.
So they're wasting too much money for a true $2-3 trillion company. That is pretty much spit in your face kind of.
Where is it going?
Sony bottom.
Yeah, because again, what's your game? Like, what is the game? Destiny. That's what you're known for.
But it's over.
You're blowing. But what I'm saying is, you're telling me you're blowing all the money you make into Destiny, and you're not seeing a decent ROI.
No,
per se.
This is why I think live service is cheats. I just really do. I like the idea of installments every, like, you know, maybe 3 to 5 years. You know, I live services cheeks. I'm just not down.
It doesn't help them that they've never like figured out how to streamline the new player experience in a way that you can pick up the game if you haven't been playing it for years already. The new player experience is miserable. If you don't,
I want to shout out this most pinnable message I've ever seen in my life. Gamer Actual Studios, like, that's the most pinnable message I've ever seen in my whole life. Shout out.
Oh, I put it up before.
Yeah. The Hades. Hades. You were talking about that intake for new players.
Yeah.
They've never figured out a way to streamline the process. They have a new player quest line, and it's kind of like a retread of like the first mission of Destiny 1. It's not very good. It doesn't explain to you how to do anything. It doesn't explain to you what the point of the game is or why you should care about any of these things. It doesn't explain the systems well. Like, the only way to be onboarded is to have somebody drag you into it. And the reason they keep seeing, or at least one of the reasons I think the profits keep going down, is because they don't get new players. Like, games like Fortnite that are free probably still get new players all the time because, you know, it calls in people from all kinds of IPs all over the world. It gets kids. They, at Bungie, have said that they're concerned that their audience is skewing older, because that means kids aren't playing the game. You aren't really getting new blood. You aren't really getting new people spending money. And I think it's not that the game isn't cool. If you watch Destiny, I think most people would be like at least intrigued watching all this going
Destiny Geek
on.
brings up an interesting point here. Like, this is why I like companies like FromSoft what he means by that is they're not pushing out the same game all the time. They're pushing out the same formula of game, but it's a different game all the time, you know, and it's keeping them healthy, you know. Sekiro, Bloodborne, you know, that's just a few examples. Yeah,
and I understand. Like, I think I like what Germ said, and I like what Hades said. As somebody who put 30 days into my Warlock in Destiny 1, I remember how pissed I was when they said, when Destiny 2 comes out, your character's gone. I think that that's the problem that they run into, is that keeping people long-term, like long-term fans, requires you to keep the same game with the same story. And that onboarding process, I think they could do infinitely better. I agree with Hades. I don't know that it could ever be good enough. And I think that's the problem, is that it's like, do you release a new Destiny every 3-4 years and hope that everyone gets over the losing all their stuff? Like, I don't think so. I
Brings
think
me back to the point that I led the show off with. Sell games based on gameplay, not anything, not other stuff, because the gameplay you can port into several other kinds of stories, several other kinds of art styles, several other kinds of worlds. You can port that into anything and make money with it,
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
that's
all
the
that
thing.
sells the game, because it's not like it can be the story, considering at least half of all the content that has ever existed in Destiny 2 is no longer there.
It's not there.
Speaking to
Forsaken's
that new
not
player
there.
experience again, you can't even play the whole game. If you
Yep.
go back and play one of these legacy MMOs, Final Fantasy 14, World of Warcraft, whatever, all of the shit is still there.
Yeah.
You can go back
I
and
have
play
a
it. And they're
perfect example
exclusive.
to highlight what I just said is Final Fantasy series has been porting over overall the same gameplay formula for 30, 40 years now. And granted, Square Enix, they're on, they're kind of struggling right now. But let's look at the gameplay. The gameplay is what I'm talking about. That formula works, and it's been ported over again and again to countless worlds throughout all of our gaming lives. So, gameplay first.
And I think no matter, I'll say this, I think that Destiny has the gameplay. I think that the issue is that you have to go one of two ways. You either have to keep building on Destiny 2, or you have to make a new Destiny game every 4 years. And either way, you're either going to lose old players or invite new players, but you can't keep both. And that's Destiny's core issue. That's why they've not been able to expand their audience. And that's why I think the game in general struggles. But regardless, I think just going back to the overview of this story, I think it's a real shame that this company has been in such a shitty spot due to publishers, due to suits, overhiring, right? And though the developers completely delivered on the vision of that expansion, the final shape, they were still the ones who got kicked out of the door when the money wasn't there. And my thoughts go out to the 220 people. With how many people are getting laid off in the industry week in, week out? I mean, every week we get on here, there's a layoff story. There's just not really a place for these people to land. And a lot of these people are never going to make games again because there's just not enough room in the industry.
The people that are working in the games and they're getting laid off, they most likely went to a university to learn this skill, and the skill they've learned is for this industry. So sure, they can try to put it towards something else, but they went to school to learn this, and they have probably student loans, they probably have tuition, all this stuff they got to pay off now, and now how are they going to do it?
Yep.
It's not fair to them. Really, it's not.
Yeah, so fuck Pete Parsons, get him out of there, and I think everybody here at Gamer Actual is wishing the very best for those employees that have been
I hear
laid off.
what you're putting down here, Destiny Geek, about the Final Fantasy VII, but yes, overall though, Final Fantasy as series has stayed true to its original vision, even though it's not turn-based anymore. But
yeah, I think they did that on purpose though, to appease the people like me who are not big on turn-based games.
But they evolved, which shout out to them, and they'll land on their feet. I mean, I have faith at Square Enix. I absolutely.
I mean, the fact that they're now kind of they're attacking a multi-platform strategy, that in itself will tell you that they're looking to expand and they are around for as long as they can.
Their leadership made a call like, hey, we're struggling right now. So instead of like laying people off and doing these things, we are going to aggressively take the games that we've already made, our games we're planning on making, and make them available to everyone. So they're attacking it from a smart business perspective, and that's awesome. Like I think that's great. So all right. That was a lot on Bungie, but this ultimately ties into the next big segments we have. Gaming industries have started to report their quarter one earnings. The deadline was June 30th, and those reports are starting to come out. So we're looking into them, and we have a few that we found, and we noticed a few trends, and we wanted to go over them on today's podcast. So we'll lead off with Nintendo here. So Nintendo is reporting that their revenue has fallen in quarter one, 46.5%, supposedly caused by lack of first-party titles and a lack of hardware sales. They
don't have any new games and they haven't released a new console in
exactly. So what do you expect though? Like, what do you expect?
Expected result.
Yeah.
Like almost every household has a Nintendo Switch at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
So
or two.
let's just toss a little bit of numbers out there. So in 2024, they made 461.3. This is in yen, so I don't know what that converts to dollars, but 461.3 billion yen, and it dropped to 200 in 2024. That's what they made. In 2025, they made 246.6 billion yens. Yeah.
What
So
year are you
that's
living
about
in?
half. It's pretty significant.
So that's probably good for us to clarify for the viewership as well.
Oh,
My
just
understanding
some
is that
weird
like
quarter reporting thing.
So yeah, when you do financial numbers, it's always like a year ahead technically, because it's really bizarre. I don't remember the exact math behind it, but it's basically like the financial year doesn't actually start when the actual year starts. It starts. Yeah. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Yeah. So overall, they've seen quite a drop in sales, by a drop in hardware sales by 70%. That's what Nintendo's really showcasing here with this report. So overall, they haven't been pushing. They did their biggest, their biggest game that they sold over the last 2 years was Tears of the Kingdom, of course.
Was that
that really
year
carried?
before?
That really
Last year.
carried. Yeah, that really.
That was their
That
revenue.
was 2004, but yeah,
not only that though, the last refresh they had for a console would have been the OLED, and not much. I don't think much people really bought the OLED. Like, I'm not gonna buy a OLED because I already owned a Switch. Like, if you're someone who's never had a Switch, by all means, go get yourself an OLED. But if you already own a Switch, you don't need an OLED.
So there's one also thing to look into this as well, is while yes, hardware sales have dropped and everything, game sales have overall dropped, there's a really interesting report here that needs to be looked into. Every year after year, their actual player base has actually increased. Starting in 2022, it started at 108 and it went up to 121 million, and now it peaked at 128 million so far in quarter one. So overall, the amount of players playing their stuff has actually increased, but they're just not buying their stuff. So that's kind of interesting, right?
Pizzo said it starts in April.
Yeah. So I think they're just getting ready for Switch 2, to be honest. Like, I mean, it's concerning that Nintendo's going through this, but I don't think it's too much to alarm because they're getting ready for a new console generation. So I don't think we should be worried about Nintendo health-wise.
I pray it's at least as powerful as a 2020 smartphone.
You're asking a lot. You're asking a lot from them. You're asking a lot. That's a high bar to clear. That's a high bar to clear.
I wonder what the specs are, because I saw some specs, but it's rumored. Nothing.
We
was
know the
confirmed.
answer to that. In the early part of 2025, they plan on doing a call about it. So announcement officially for the Switch. So we know when it's coming. Early part of 2025.
You have to ask yourself, if Resident Evil 8 can run on an iPhone, is there any reason Resident Evil 8 shouldn't look fucking phenomenal on a Switch 2? Is there any excuse they can come up with? I love what Hades said. No, and that's the thing. It's like, I love what Hades said. It better be as powerful as a 2020 smartphone. I swear to fucking God, Nintendo. I swear to God.
It won't be.
It won't be.
But it's still gonna sell like hotcakes.
Oh yeah, I'll be there day one.
It's Nintendo.
Yeah.
Every person that owns a Switch today is gonna go buy one. So they instantly are gonna have 500 million people that they can sell their stuff to. Right off the bat. And if they drop Super Smash Brothers 5 or whatever number it is at this point, instantly boom. Like they're
what game do you think they're gonna launch it? I think Metroid Prime is gonna be
I'm gonna say Mario Galaxy 2 and most likely Odyssey, Mario Odyssey 2, and probably Smash Brothers. Those are gonna be like their two, and Mario Kart 9. Those are gonna be the three that they probably launch with.
That's a great lineup. That's a great lineup.
Right there. You just instantly sold 300 copies of games right there. Easily.
More than 300 copies.
Yeah.
I can promise you that.
300 million.
Will it be powerful enough for Smash to have good netcode? That's the truly important thing.
It will not.
Wi-Fi warriors. You know it's gonna be mobile, so we're gonna have Wi-Fi warriors everywhere.
I mean, I got Wi-Fi people on Street Fighter, dude. It doesn't make a difference. They're all Wi-Fi.
So Luke Nukem says, I think they're going to try and scum with another Animal Crossing.
Easy money.
In reference to what we said, to recapture the COVID trend.
Yeah.
So
right there. I mean, they have 4 titles right there that'll instantly sell them. You know,
just want a new Zelda game. Yeah, I would love to see another Zelda game, even though I'm still on Breath of the Wild and I have Tears of the Kingdom to play. But still, please make something else in that same like style of Zelda. And you got me there. I'm here. Breath of the Wild is amazing.
The Breath of the Wild discussion that would have stretched out.
Yeah. Hades, Breath of the Wild is so good.
If you ask me, it's too close to Tears of the Kingdom. We're not going to get a Zelda game that fast. It'll probably be like 2-3 years.
5 years?
Life, but yeah,
6 years.
It was 6 years. 6 years.
Well, at least they'll cook it.
Yeah. I think it'll be probably 3 to 4, maybe 2 to 3 years, probably into the system's life. We'll get another Zelda.
I think this is like a soft reboot. I think this is because remember, Breath of the Wild is 1,000 years after like the main timeline stuff of Zelda. Yeah. So I think this is their way of like removing themselves from the older games and just like starting from like scratch here. This is a great start.
Depending on how powerful the system is, you know, something like GTA 5 would probably come to Switch, you know, and that would sell, you know. So, you know, there's a lot of possibilities there.
Keyword there was GTA 5. You won't see 6 on the Switch. Yeah. You won't see 6.
So Nintendo,
I think your Nintendo Switch 2 would explode if you try to run GTA 6.
So Nintendo, I think, well, those numbers are, you know, if you look a little deeper, I think Nintendo is in a good place. There's nothing.
The first time you're going to see a Nintendo with a blue screen, because usually it's red.
Yeah,
all blue screens.
So next up, we have EA. EA is reporting a 30% drop in its Q1 net profits as it continues to invest in online communities and live service games. So I don't really play EA games.
I don't either.
So
no.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, the Jedi
about EA.
outside of that, like, no, I don't. I really don't.
Yeah,
as a PC gamer, I'm not installing their malware launcher on my computer. I refuse.
To be honest, I have to really think hard about what even games EA even has in their catalog. I know there's Apex. I know they have the Jedi Survivor. I know.
Yeah. I mean, they own Need for Speed. Need for Speed has a strong fan base.
Madden, those games, you know. But I have not played any of that. I will never pick up any of that shit. Like, no, thank you. So,
unfortunately.
So here it says, according to the report, it says in-game events drove better than expected monetization in EA Sports FC Mobile and EA Sports FC Mobile, reaching record net bookings in the first quarter. So don't expect that to go anyway. They're going to be a microtransaction piece of shit forever. Modern NFL sustained momentum through the first quarter with its bookings up double digits year after year. So that ain't going nowhere. So yes, they're really doubling down on sports games. One thing to note here is Apex Legends, which experienced year after year declines in its previous quarters, is on track in its return to growth. According to their CEO Canfield, the game's metrics improved sequentially and came into our expectations.
What do you think that is, though? Because I feel like the fan base of Apex are all complaining about Apex. Like a lot of people are having issues with Apex. So why do you think that is? The fact that even though people are complaining, Apex is still profitable. Why do you think that is?
The Apex community, Apex community seems to really keep to itself. So it seems like they have a really locked in community. They really keep to themselves. They don't bother anyone. I don't know.
Destiny Geek, listen, Destiny Geek, you and I are in the same boat when it comes to Titanfall 3. I want a Titanfall 3, but unfortunately, no. But they keep toying with it. Yeah, they keep toying with the idea, though, because remember that announcement that a couple of months ago that they said the next game that they're working on will be in the Titanfall universe, and I was like, fuck you. Yeah, it's in the Titanfall universe. Will it be a Titanfall game? If it's not, then I don't want it.
So I don't want it. You have to remember, right? You have to take note of the fact that the people that would have done Titanfall 1 and 2 were Respawn, the same guys that did the Jedi games.
Mm-hmm. And Respawn, they're working on another Jedi game. No, they're working on another Jedi game.
Yeah, you're not getting Titanfall 3. Yeah, never.
No.
So, also another comment here from the CEO. He says, "What we see now is, 25 to 30% of all engagement in our industry is actively watching content, just not playing content." So they're trying to find a way to engage that 25 to 30% to make up that gap. Apparently, that's their plan's gonna be going forward. That's what it says here. It said, in addition to that, it says, incidentally, that correlates to monetization at nearly the same levels as playing does over the course of time. So they're trying to squeeze money out of the players that are already there. That's what I get out of that sentence. But,
pretty much.
Yeah.
So Pizzo just says Apex is just tie. He says Apex is a game that innovates with game mechanics, but they will never fix the issues that plague the community.
I think it's an art style thing for me. I've never really connected with Apex's art style. Like, it's just not that steampunk, cyberpunk kind of mix thing. I'm
talking about within the community though. A lot of people within the community have complaints about Apex. It's like there are things that they just won't fix, and that is causing people to turn away from the game itself, the franchise.
Well, it seems like there's real competition on the horizon. Marvel Rivals, Concord, these types of games
they're
coming.
So different. So. Those games are so different because Apex is a battle royale. Like Concord and Marvel Rivals is not taking any like Apex people.
It's more Overwatch.
That's more objective based, so I don't think it's gonna really take that. It's not a battle royale. Which I'm also, speaking of betas that will probably be coming out at some point this week. 2x scale. If anybody's excited about that, get excited. I think we are 4 days out, which I'm excited for.
Just a heads up on that. Follow the Element Twitter for a chance to get into the alpha.
You know me, Germ. Just give me the code. Yeah. Anyways,
you gotta win it. It is follow the Element Twitter for details on how to win a code.
So 4 days. There you go. Project is confirmed in the chat. It's 4 days. It's on Thursday. Yeah. So Overwatch and Marvel Rivals are
talking about that. A little bit of info about that. If you are trying to get into the alpha, there will be waves starting at 1 p.m. specific time of codes that distributed. If you played the game in Evo and did the survey, you're guaranteed to get in day one. And then they're going to have multiple waves after that. So if you don't get in day one, just keep an eye on your email, then you might get in another wave. So that's up on that.
Yeah, I already signed up, so I'm pretty sure I will. I'm pretty sure I'm good.
Next up, we have
what game is this for? 2XKO. It's a fighting game.
Project L. So next up, we got From Software. They released their earnings, and From Software reported revenue fell 29% to 1.3 million, with a decline driven by the impact of Elden Ring's success. So, put this specifically in the middle of our stories here, because I think this is really interesting. I have a point at the end, but I'll let you guys cook on that for a minute. So they lost 25%. According to, it says that Armored Core 5 or 4 or whatever it is, Fires of Rubicon, was a bigger hit than expected, both domestically and overseas. The game surpassed 3 million units sold in less than 12 months after launch. So overall, their games are hitting. Overall, it's very successful. The DLC sold 5 million copies in its first 3 days. So overall, very, very healthy. What do you guys think about this?
About them making less money this year?
Yeah. They're making less, even though they had a successful year overall sales-wise, they did end up making less revenue.
Last year, they had a full game release, which is $70 or more,
right?
For whatever expanded edition you get. Whereas this year's product is a $50 DLC. So obviously, you might get some new people on Elden Ring because of hype for the DLC, but I think for the most part, the bulk of your base game sales probably came within the first year. Yeah, I don't know. This seems more like a nothing really to see here. We just didn't have a full game release this year type of thing.
Yeah, I can see that. I can agree. I agree with that.
My takeaway from this is this is why I pointed it out. because Elden Ring was such a success the year prior that of course your sales are going to drop. Of course. So if you read this article based on clickbait alone, you're gonna be like, "Oh, FromSoft, they're gonna close their doors. They're gonna start experiencing layoffs." Like, no, they're
Everyone
still
bought
very,
it
very
already.
they're still
game of
very
the year.
profitable overall. They still sold hella numbers, but if you're just thinking that their profits dropped by a third, FromSoft is in danger. But this is the risk. This is the point I wanted to bring up. As this is the danger of headlines. Be sure you actually read the article, folks, and make sure you understand it, because taking headlines alone is not going to give you all the information you need. So, yeah, go ahead, Maury.
Something else I'll say is, I don't know if this is judging it by the fiscal year, but technically I think that within the fiscal year that Shadow of the Erdtree dropped, I think that Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon dropped as well, which was a B side project made by the guys who are making Sekiro. I'm here to tell you that if you haven't played Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, another From Software game, go give that the time of day. It's one of my favorite games of last year. It might be my favorite game of last year. Go give it some time. It's so fucking good. Armored Core 6. Give that the time of day. But yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a great PSA of what I was just alluding to about when we're talking about doing your research, folks, is don't watch TikTok and have someone just come out and be like, FromSoft is in trouble. Are they going to start experiencing layoff? Are they going to start laying people off too? Like, no. FromSoft is very healthy. They're in a very good place. So don't fall for that as well. What we're at.
Oh, Cash, pin that right now. I know you see it. Destiny Geek. God, I love you. Just want a Bloodborne PC port in 60 frames. Destiny, we don't ask for too much here, but we're never given what we want, are we? Folks, you will never see a Bloodborne remaster. Never. You'll never see it. They don't care about us. It's one of my favorite games of all time. They don't care about us.
You can emulate it now legally. Almost.
Really?
Yeah, they're working on it.
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
Really? I didn't know.
Well, you can still you can't play it at 60 frames, but you can still play it on your PlayStation 5. You just have to have the digital version. That's the only kicker there. So you would have had to have the digital version prior to already in order to do that, which is kind of a hiccup, but whatever.
The irony is, I don't even think From Software is in control of whether or not it gets a PC port. I think Sony is. And I think Sony is holding out on that. I'm pretty surprised they are too, with how many of their games they've ported.
Maybe they're just kind of holding on to it, maybe for when dark days do lay ahead for the company. I'm not saying it ever will, but if it ever does, they have that in their back pocket to kind of like.
Is there a PS5 remaster?
No.
Oh.
No.
Then I really don't understand, because you can't even argue trying to sell more hardware.
Yeah,
no, not at all.
Just accept free money.
Yes, that's literally what it is.
Free money. You have to port it, obviously. And
they just hate money at the end of the day.
We just went over it. FromSoft's in a very healthy place. They don't need to kind of squeeze dollars out of us. They could just keep doing what they're doing, and the money will keep rolling in. So there's no incentive to do it. So.
Yeah, it's always funny when people will go at From Software and be like, why isn't there a PC port for Bloodborne? I'm like, I don't think that's their choice. I think that's Sony. So hopefully Sony makes a little bit of free money, not free, but nearly free, and maybe convince them to make us Bloodborne 2 by giving them a fat stack of cash. I highly doubt they'd do it, but someone should be trying.
Yeah,
they might. Shout out
to Pizzo. He said that they're going to wait until they have a console to sell, which makes sense.
Yeah, and then next up we have Activision Blizzard. They're next under the microscope. They bundled with Microsoft. They did report their quarterly earnings. So it broke down this way. So Activision brought in $92 million, which 90 million of that came from Call of Duty. Blizzard brought in 26 million, and King brought in $238 million. Yeah, so who's the big money maker here? Who is the king of, literally king of the castle is the mobile.
Yeah, because a lot of people play mobile games, bro. People play that shit. Candy Crush is a motherfucker, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now.
That's why they bought Activision Blizzard King.
Yeah,
that's why they bought it. It wasn't for Call of Duty. It was for Candy Crush.
Yeah. It was for Candy Crush.
But let's think of that. Activision made $92 million last year, which 90 of it came from just Call of Duty.
I mean, what
You
else?
got to buy your
That's
weed skins
crazy.
again every year for the new release.
Yeah.
Remember what I said to you guys about Call of Duty? Don't think Call of Duty is all that profitable. Not because you see it in the high Steam charts. I told you guys what they did. They consolidated all their games and put it into one thing, and it's called Call of Duty HQ. And I said this to you guys before until I proved it. Because at first, Heartless was saying I wasn't supposed to say that because it could seem as if, we suppose that's detrimental. But then we did the research ourselves, and we saw that that's exactly what they did. But it's not for us. What they did with Call of Duty HQ, it's not for gamers. That's for investors to see and say, oh, Call of Duty is still on top. No, the fuck they're not. They're not. Those are a bunch of people playing different variations of Call of Duty under that one umbrella. That's the reality of the situation.
And
it's probably like 90% are playing Warzone, the free version of Call of Duty. That's probably what the numbers are.
In total,
that's really what it is.
In total, Activision Blizzard as a company brought in $1.68 billion to Microsoft last year, or in the quarter. So, with Xbox hardware sales down 42%. So, Xbox hardware sales are on the down, but I think that'll pick back up with the announcement they did at the showcase. Those were pretty banging Xboxes that they announced. But I'm not worried about that number. But they also did announce that Xbox Game Pass got over 500 million active monthly subscribers.
This isn't Game
users.
This isn't Game Pass. This is just people playing any title owned by Xbox. So anyone playing Candy Crush is put into this number.
Yeah, because over 500 million monthly active users. So that's a pretty decent number. Okay, yeah. Thank you for that, Maury.
Of course,
that's crazy though.
Why is everyone doing a hub? Yeah, again, back to what I said. It's not for fans. This is for investors. That's why a lot of people are making hubs. Because yes, Ubisoft did say they were going to make an Assassin's Creed kind of like hub for people to go to and play all the Assassin's Creed games that have ever been made. I remember that article. So I think that's the direction a lot of people are going.
I think it's for, in addition to what you said, Cash, I think it's also for malware purposes, so that they can just, Hades knows, like they have this thing and that spies on how you're playing your games and how you're using your PC and how you're using, what you're clicking on, and they want to know.
Even if the launcher isn't like intentionally malicious with data collection, usually they're like bloated and slow down your computer. Like I don't play EA games because they don't have Origin anymore, but Origin for years was renowned for eating all your.
I think they want to know what's causing you to click into the store. They want to know like the ads that pop up. They want to know like what you're clicking on. They want to know all this across all their games.
I guess you have to read that very long agreement when you install the launcher. Make sure
pretty much.
What
like they know. She knows. They know everything. So that's kind of cool. But King though, like the mobile gaming scene, like I'm sure like that $80 billion, right, Maury? That it costs Microsoft to acquire.
I think it was upwards.
They wanted that was the mobile they were really after. Call of Duty.
Didn't Riot Games do a deal with Microsoft? I think they did, if I'm not mistaken. They did, right?
I don't know.
Riot did.
What kind
of Riot? They did have a deal with Microsoft, which is why Valorant was able.
I know what it is. Valorant. If you have Game Pass, you get all of the agents automatically unlocked. Yes.
Yeah, because they have a partnership with Microsoft to some degree. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I don't know the extent to it. I need to do some more research, but
it might be because to bring Valorant to console, if it's a free game, you have to be able to play it for free, and maybe there's like some path to buying the operators or something. So instead, they just want to give them to you if you're on Xbox, so it doesn't break their like.
Yeah,
that's what's so goofy.
Free agreement. I don't know.
And that's what's
I don't know.
interesting.
I have to look more into it.
Yeah, basically, you get all the operators for free on Xbox, even though my Riot account is connected to both my PlayStation account and my Xbox. If I play on my Xbox, I have all the operators. If I play on my PlayStation, though it's connected to the same account that I have Game Pass on, I have to buy the operators on PlayStation.
So there's no cross progression. There's no cross progression. That's stupid.
It's stupid.
I'm wondering if that'll change with 2XKO because it's a competitive. Like it's like the FGC's kind of.
It kind of has. You don't think so, Hades?
Riot can make money.
Yep.
Interesting.
If they can make money, they will make money.
Yes.
And if it's more convenient for you to pay to unlock all the characters right now instead of go and actually unlock them with gameplay, you're gonna do it.
God.
Yeah, because they're gonna make you grind to get those skins. You're gonna have to grind to acquire those skins.
This is what they do. This is why I'm allergic to their games. I see you.
Yeah.
I'm not buying shit. Yeah, I don't give a shit about free. Like I'll play those games till the cows come home, bro.
I have very mixed feelings about that style of monetization. Where I'm glad they're not making me pay for gameplay elements, but
it's very manipulative, Germ. They make you want to spend money.
Yeah.
Yep.
They'll make you want to spend money.
That's why I'm so conflicted about it. You know, I mean, considering other games where they make you pay for DLC characters and other stuff, like I kind of think I don't like that. I just really don't.
I don't like the idea of buying DLC characters either because I feel like a lot of those characters are fucking busted. Pardon my French.
Especially like shout out to Tekken. I have to buy their character to play Eddie Gordo, to lab against Eddie Gordo. Like, what the fuck, you know? What the fuck?
I'm not even talking about. Think about even Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
Everyone hates me playing Slayer.
Yeah.
I hate fighting you with Slayer, bro.
The big duffs incoming.
Bro. So, and their DNF duel is the same way. It's the same way. DNF duel, like, bro, I can't. So it's play to win, and I hate that. It feels like play to win.
I mean,
it really does.
That's why I'm kind of so conflicted because I like the idea where if I want to play as Bikini Ari or whatever, like if I'm into that, sure, I'll buy it, you know, but I don't have to buy it. I'm sure they're gonna pressure me into it. I'm sure they're gonna have that stuff for sale. It's gonna be popping up to remind me every couple minutes that I need to buy it, but at least I can ignore it, you know. I don't know, but
it's gonna show up on the minute you enter that game. Every single time you're gonna see something you want to buy.
Stay strong, folks. Like don't
all they're
fall
doing.
for it. Stay strong.
You know, in my 3,000 plus hours of Destiny just on PC, I've only bought a cosmetic microtransaction one time.
Really?
It's like me with the Street Fighter 6. Wow. I've only bought the Battle Pass twice, and that was the Mega Man Battle Pass and the Shadaloo one they just did a couple months ago when Bison dropped because there was a Sagat sticker. I'm such a dweeb for Sagat.
So there's one game that I spend money on every month, and I hate myself for it, but at the same time I don't, and that's Marvel Snap.
Yeah,
that costs money every month.
No, that I want to spend because they have a battle. They have like a season pass that they do every month, so you pay like $9 for a season pass,
and
you get 2 new cards.
I think it is.
It's not pay to win because I don't use the cards.
Like just guaranteed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. That's cool.
Yeah, you get those cards because the new cards, you'll get the newer cards, but a lot of them you have to roll for.
But the point is, there isn't any other way to earn it, you know. So I think that's pay to win in my.
No, because you can't use one card to win a game, Jeremy.
No,
you just can't. Not in Marvel Snap.
You know,
by the way,
what I'm saying is I can't get it any other way, you know. So I think I view that as
no. You can get it. You can still get it the other way. You don't have to buy the season pass. You can wait until it comes to the shop and then you get it. Because you get tokens throughout the gameplay. But Mori, I have a new alliance if you want to join.
He is
want to join my Marvel Alliance. If you want to join my Marvel, Alliance or no? Because you know they're doing. No, they have a new alliance now. You can have like a full squad now, and we can message each other within Marvel Snap.
You're lying.
No, I'm not. They dropped the update this week. Yes, I'll send you the link afterwards after the pod. Yeah, but anybody else, bro? I have like 12 people. I just made the alliance, and 12 people signed up. I had to close the room. Too many people are filling it up. So yeah.
Sensational.
But guys, stay strong.
So if anybody plays Marvel Snap and you want to join the alliance, please let me know.
Stay strong out there, folks. You don't need that schoolgirl Ari skin. You don't need it. Stay strong. Stay strong.
Maybe I do.
They
Maybe
won't.
I do.
They
You're
won't.
right.
It's already sold.
You don't need it. Okay.
I already saw the new Yasuo skin too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Those like
Yeah,
I see that they're doing a lot of those. It's dope. So
all
Project
right.
Note.
So
there you go.
next on is a company that I think is a breath of fresh air for everything we've been discussing. Is Capcom also released their quarterly reports. It says overall their revenue fell 32.5% to $192 million. Profits almost half, but 97% of game sales came from their back catalog. So there's more to dive into that. So their top winners seem to be Monster Hunter here. Monster Hunter
World.
Yeah, Monster Hunter World specifically brought in almost $1 billion, almost $100 million. We have Monster Hunter World Iceborne DLC, second place. Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, another DLC, and then we have Resident Evil 4 remake popping up, and then Street Fighter 6 and Dragon's Dogma 2 way down here at the bottom.
I don't want to cut you off, Jerm, but let's stop for a second and look how many Resident Evil 4 remake sold.
It says right here, 7.6 million copies.
7.6 million, and that's the remake.
So let's look at all the numbers as a whole. Monster Hunter World, 26.3 million. These are lifetime sales, by the way. These are not just last year. So we have Monster Hunter World Iceborne DLC, 13.4. We have Monster Hunter Rise, 15.4. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak DLC, 8.4. We already said Resident Evil 4 remake. Street Fighter 6 has sold 3.7 million copies, and Dragon's Dogma 2 is sitting here at 3 million.
So you're telling me that Resident Evil, our remake, sold more than an original game.
Here's a broken down by every franchise, and these are just last year's numbers. So Resident Evil sold 3 million last year. Monster Hunter, another 3 million. Street Fighter, 1 million. Mega Man, 1 million. Devil May Cry, 1 million. Dead Rising, 1 million. And Dragon's Dogma 2, 1 million. So Capcom also did note that Resident Evil Village has become the fastest Resident Evil series in Capcom history, selling 10 million units sold as of June 30th. So crazy.
Village was a great game, though. I love Village.
There's something else I want to note here is that also Capcom made a statement
Ethan, though,
about the way they're doing their back catalog. They said they plan on releasing games on a 2 to 3 year window, new IPs or sequels, with backlog re-releases supplementing releases between new IPs or release titles. So that seems to be their business model going forward, and I think that's really, really cool. I really like how they're using, like the Marvel collection coming up to kind of keep the doors open.
Right.
We haven't really heard Capcom laying on people off, so I don't know if this is related to that. I think it's pretty cool. I can't confirm or deny that that's the cause, but
I feel like didn't they have a layoff earlier this year, like a very small layoff?
I'm not sure.
Let me double check that. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to misspeak either.
Exactly.
So.
Rare, well-managed company, Capcom.
It feels like Capcom is really cooking in terms of a business model / business plan.
Ever since Resident Evil 7 came out, I think they've been killing it.
Actually, it was quite the contrary. Capcom announces salary increase for all employees this year. Let me shut the fuck up.
Let's go,
Capcom. Playing Street Fighter.
Let's go, Capcom. Awesome. And let's look at Street Fighter, 3.7 million copies. I know Capcom, when they announced when the game was coming out, they had a goal of 10 million copies throughout the whole life cycle of the game. So they seem to be on track with that, especially with Mai and Terry coming out here. I
can't wait for Terry. I want to see. I want to try them on.
Copies. I really think Capcom is kind of leading the way. I mean, we know we're kind of Catboy fan. I am a Capcom fanboy. I know Heartless is as well in a way. So I'm excited to see that.
Listen, but I'm going to say this. Capcom, you need to make an official announcement date for the Marvel collection. Please. Thank you.
When's Marvel?
Thank you. Exactly.
So let's just circle it back around in a stark contrast to what we led this discussion off with Bungie. Like, look at the contrast between the way Capcom's kind of doing it and the way From Software is doing it to the way Bungie's doing it. Like, Bungie's trying to squeeze money. They're trying to, get water out of a rag and you've just like drenched and there's no water left. And but you have companies like Capcom and FromSoft, which you keep pushing out brand new content to you for you to buy. That feels fair and feels like you actually want to get it. I think, and then you have Microsoft and Activision who's trying to push Game Pass on people, like subscription-based platforms. It just feels like there's lots of different things cooking here, and I'm not closed-minded to anything except for Bungie, the way they're doing it.
Come on, Bungo.
But I think Capcom is the model here to follow. I really do. I think Capcom's cooking. I really do.
Yeah. I was actually going to type this in the chat, but Destiny Geek says, great games, can't lie. Capcom is just a great company. They make good games and actually listen to consumers. I'll piggyback on that, and they also don't curtail to weirdos on the internet. They don't give a shit.
I'm
asking especially when they said, you remember that when people had this issue about Cammy's outfit? It was like, fuck you, we're still gonna drop it. You can shut up. Enjoy Cammy and all of her astastic glory.
Can you imagine if Armika comes to the game? Oh my god, Elena, that classic outfit's gonna go hard, bros. Yeah,
bro, listen, May is already coming in, and May's gonna look sexy as hell. Like, we already see May coming in. She's gonna look sexy. We see it.
Dude, Elena is gonna go hard. Like, that's gonna be the skin. That's gonna be the skinny Marisa. She's gonna be buff, and she's gonna be letting the skin. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, at the end of the day, people act as if sex appeal is such a bad thing. Like, I don't see why. Like who'd have thought people want to play? Who'd have thought people would want?
Look at it, dude.
Bro. Who'd have thought that people would actually want to see sexy people on screen?
Everyone does.
I said it.
Everyone does.
I said it a few weeks back.
Who'd have thought?
Video games are starting to become unapologetically like sexy again, and I'm here for it. Like,
make video games sexy again. God damn it.
Movement against like sexualization in games really kind of soured things, but it's starting to turn back, but in a tasteful sense. It's not like overly like gross.
I don't mind the overly sexiness either. I don't care.
Starting to turn back around.
Control yourselves, bitches.
Gwtmori,
like, come on, that's all that is. That's all that is.
I have a question for you. Down. I don't know if you're a Capcom fanboy, but what is your favorite Capcom franchise? Like, out of their lineup, is what's your go-to?
That's a good question. That's going to be our question of the week.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think for me it's probably Resident Evil, and I've not played all. Dude, and I've not played all the Resident Evil games, but the ones that I've given the time to are amazing. Like, I just got into them last year. I'd never played them before then.
Okay, I take back what I just said.
Yeah, no, I'm new. I'm very new, Cash. Like, but like my time with the Resident Evil games has been so well spent. I love everything that I've played, and yeah, I would say Resident Evil, but I'm not. I'm not been a Capcom guy.
I have feeling you're going to say Street Fighter here, but I'm curious if there's another answer. I want to confirm what my thoughts are.
Is it for me?
Yeah.
Yep.
The only one I really play is Street Fighter. I have played some Resident Evil games, but not in recent memory. I got a bunch of recent ones on my computer.
I already know what Cash's answer is. I don't even have to ask.
I mean, Mori already said it. It's Resident Evil, hands down. Second, shameless plug.
For me, I bet you all expected me to say Street Fighter, but actually, my favorite Capcom franchise is Mega Man. If I had to pick one,
that's what I just said. Second for me would be Mega Man.
Wow.
If there was this one franchise, like if I had the Infinity Gauntlet and I had to snap the rest out of existence, Mega Man would be the one.
Oh, Luke Nukem with the ghost and goblins. God damn, I forgot that one.
I don't even know.
That's actually the very first game, the remake they did.
Bro,
that was the first game to use the RE engine. That one they did, that was the first. That was the debut of the RE engine. It all started there, And
with what?
When they remastered Ghosts and Goblins, that a bunch of years ago, that was the debut of the RE engine. That was like the first game that it was used.
Ghosts and Goblins, and then they had was it Demon? They also have Demon, which was pretty fun too. You remember what's the name of that monster in Ghosts and Goblins? Remind me of the name. I can't remember. He's in Marvel vs. Capcom. Shit, why can't I remember his name right now? But he had his own video game. He had his own game. Firebrand. Yes, Firebrand had his own game. And that was hella fun because you could upgrade him. He can change into different forms. Yeah. That was hella, man. I remember that game.
I mean, I would miss Street Fighter. I would mourn for it. But yeah, Mega Man would be the one.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we're just hitting in the rapid fire. But first, before we move into that, that was quite a bit of juicy news. There was so much more that could be said about all those topics. Does anyone have any closing thoughts about anything related to anything we went over before we dive into the rapid fire?
None whatsoever. This week is just mostly Q1 enclosures. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna name the title of this episode.
It's unfortunate that we have to make an episode like this, but I
feel like enclosures.
But due to the nature of what we talked about with Game Informer, with IGN, this is important. We need to report these things because you can't really trust a lot of the sources out there to give you the fair and balanced news. So we have a duty to perform for you guys. We have to. I think we're doing you guys a public service with this, and you guys can count on us to deliver it fairly.
Right. And we're not all I guess you could say we tend to not always agree on everything. So I think this is also a good place for you guys to come to have those kind of collective opinions as well. So
Yeah. Thank you to Hades for coming in and talking the smack with Bungie with us, because that's what we were hoping for. We were looking for that energy.
Thank you all for having me.
It was great to have someone to bounce off of to shit on Bungie. Hades, I love you infinitely, man. My God.
Hashtag come on, Bungo.
All right, so rapid fire. We got actually some doozies here, some stuff that are really highs and some real lows around the gaming industry. So Xbox has announced Gamescom 2024 plans. It says they're going to be including over 50 games.
I'm going, guys. I'm going to be at Gamescom in Paris.
A few highlights. They said there will be Age of Mythology Retold. We have Ara History Untold, Diablo 4, Fallout 76, a new DLC apparently for it, and Elder Scrolls Online and Towerborn, and also Indiana Jones Avowed and The Great Circle and Starfield Shattered Space. So pretty stocked lineup. I think this would be kind of cool. Anyone that loves Xbox or Microsoft supporters out there, this seems like your thing. So it's going to be going on Thursday, August 22nd through Sunday, August 25th. And it's going to be hosted by Jeff Keighley.
I'm going to see if I'd be able to stream it during the daytime. Let's see how that works out. But no promises, but I'll try.
If you guys want to subscribe to the Patreon if you want us to cover it.
Yeah.
Shameless
we still haven't. We're trying to get to that goal of having, I said 5. If we got 5 subscribers to the Patreon, we would watch. What was that bad movie we were gonna watch? The Flash. We were gonna watch The Flash.
It's on Netflix right now, so the time's clicking on that, guys.
Perfect, guys. We just need 5. We just need 5 subscriptions, and it's very cheap. I think the first tier is like $3. Nothing crazy, but and we can watch the full thing on Patreon. So we will watch it
live with you. And let me give a little bit of context for those in here who may not have been here last week. Heartless insists that The Flash is a good movie. Now, you and I both know he's smoking dick. We're going to watch it live if we get 5 people subscribed to the Patreon, all of us together, and we're all going to laugh at Heartless together. It sounds like a great time.
Hades, you can join into it if you want to that day.
That sounds like some jury is an honest, difficult character type logic.
It's great. Yeah.
Now that you brought that up, Hades, I just want to have a PSA here. Okay, so Street Fighter is a great game, but what is up with the jury community and the jury players downplaying how good jury is? What the hell? And then the Chun players, stand behind your girl. Like, she's top tier. You guys need to stand behind your girl. I don't hear anyone advocating for Chun these days. She is great. She is right up there at the top of the mountain, but I don't hear the Chun players shouting her out. Anyway, shout out to the
just
Chun
want
players.
any way to excuse being bad.
But anyway,
get Destiny out of here, bro. Old Yeller's ass.
By the way, guys, this is our thing. If y'all wanna.
All right, so moving on, and we have already.
That's the Patreon link.
We have a Destiny. Bungie announced that they are not working on a Destiny 3, but they did claim that they are reportedly not in the works for Destiny 3 is reportedly not in the works at Bungie, as the studio is focusing on Marathon and Destiny 2. Project Payback was not Destiny 3, but a spin-off game. That's probably the game you were referring to earlier, Maury. And as for Destiny 2, it's claimed that Bungie will now stop releasing paid expansions and now release smaller content drops similar to Into the Light. So yeah, sounds like this. The sun is really setting on Destiny. It's sad to see it, but it feels like the game's pretty much over. Like,
I don't know about all that, but if Marathon is good and if they keep up the quality of their content packs, they've done this in the past, like smaller free content packs, and they've historically been really good. However, you haven't exactly built the morale around your studio to facilitate the best content being released. So, and maybe it is. Maybe I'm coping.
And then we got Microsoft. The Xbox 360 store has officially gone offline after almost 20 years. So not really unexpected news, but still kind of like, dude, we're getting old, bros. Like,
not only that, it sucks. Here's why this sucks. I say this sucks because now people won't have access to a lot of these games that they bought online. I, for one, had a shit ton of games on Xbox 360 that I couldn't access through the Xbox Series X, and I used to have to go back to my Xbox. I still have my 360, by the way.
Me too.
A little worse for wear, but
wow,
you ain't got a faceplate?
Yes, I have everything, bro. It's still in full.
I'm really shocked you just have it at the ready like that. Like,
I have it, and I just need to just plug it up. Like, everything is already connected here. I have my. Oh, there's also this
within arm's reach.
Literally,
what was that? Was that a PlayStation 3? Was that a PS3?
Yes.
Oh,
PS3.
Wow.
I have my PS3 on my desk.
Okay,
they're just right here.
That is amazing that you have it right there.
Yeah.
But what's most amazing is that I didn't see a speck of dust on that thing. Like, Cash takes care of his shit here.
I try to as best as possible, bro.
Like, shout out to this homie.
And all my controllers are just like right here.
My PlayStation 4 is sitting right there, and it is covered in dust because I haven't turned it on since I got a PlayStation 5. So it's amazing.
So I'm saying, bro, because guess what I learned? If you guys didn't know that, you can actually use your PlayStation 5 controller on your PS3.
I did know this. I tested.
Oh, you need to just plug it in.
It's insane.
Wired.
It's
just wired.
Why
plug
does that
it
work?
in, and you're good to go. I have no idea. I don't know.
Either. It's insane,
but it works. It works.
I think that's amazing. Like, wow, Cash is a game. He's gonna open a museum of gaming equipment at some point.
Bro, I already told myself that this year I was gonna start collecting like retro games. I want to start with the Super Nintendo.
I didn't shout that out when we went to Evo. They had a hit like a museum of Evo. That was really, really cool. I wish I didn't get a chance to see it all, but it was great.
Yo, listen. Eventually, I'm getting my own like streaming room, and in the background you're just gonna see just like a shrine to gaming. You're gonna see my retro collection in the background.
Maury setup right here. Maury setup.
Oh no, it's gonna be way better.
Suck my dick, Cash.
No. I'm right there. I'm right there with you guys. I have the most beautiful Marissa poster right here above this computer. But I can't let the world see it because I can't get the right angle on it. But it is the most beautiful poster ever. It's sitting right there. I wish I could show it to you all.
Yes. So Long Island Retro will be this weekend in Long Island. If anybody's in the New York area, go check those out. I think Ash says hi is gonna be a guest speaker on there. And if you guys, is there a don't? Yeah, there we go. They have 25th celebration of the Dreamcast. So if you donate, I think you will get a Dreamcast along with new games because
Oh,
apparently they're still
whoa.
making games for the Dreamcast, which I didn't know.
Can you hook the homie up? Are you gonna go to that?
Yes, I am.
Oh, Cash, we're gonna talk
awesome.
privately.
Yes, I'm
would
looking
like to
forward
know
to it.
more.
I'll try to stream that event if I can that day as well. So
all right,
I want to do more IRL streams. So I've been trying to figure out like whenever there's like dope shit happening, I'm just gonna
subscribe to the
Patreon. Exactly. I want the stream to be a lot more, not just be sitting in front of my computer and shit.
Last shameless plug on that, but subscribe to the Patreon. You'll get that.
Yes,
that content. So yeah, we have next step.
Okay.
So the Olympics has been announced. The next Summer Olympics has been announced to be in Saudi Arabia after Paris, and Saudi Arabia selected esports as a sport that it wants to include in it.
Saudi. I feel like Saudi Arabia really loves video games.
They love
bro.
Tekken. Like Tekken is FGC in general,
and
but
Street Fighter.
Tekken is really.
I feel like exactly FGC. I feel like they love the FGC, bro.
Yeah. They haven't announced officially yet that I'm aware of. Next week, I'm going to dive more into that and we'll report more hard news on it. But right now, they just announced that esports is going to be at Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of news to dive into that. I'm looking forward to reporting on it next week.
I wonder what the games are going to be. That's what I'm trying to understand. What are those games?
This could be a momental thing. IPs, because the Olympics has always kind of like kept itself separate from IPs. So IPs like Street Fighter and such might be incoming to the Olympics. This is unprecedented.
That would be so insane. Just to I can't even imagine that right now.
Insanely hype.
Bro, and I know why. I know why they're doing it. It's because they want more eyeballs. And they know
the Olympics has been really.
How do you get nerds to watch sports competition?
The world is
sports.
The world has changed,
bro,
and the world moving off of Olympic sports.
Bro. Yeah. Street Fighter coming to the Olympics, sign me the fuck up. Overwatch coming to the Olympics, sign me up. I don't care.
And as a person right here that is looking to make a career in esports, this is like Christmas comes early. I mean, this is big. This is a big break.
I wonder what that would look like for tryouts and stuff like that. What would that look like, bro?
Dude,
for Street Fighter.
X Element, man, we got some work to do. We want the Olympic Committee to come a calling, bro. Let's make it happen. Yeah.
What would that look like?
Bro, those tryout rooms, some of those chairs are going to be filled with piss at the end of that night. I promise you. Flawless call back to Evo.
We were excited. Now you have to bring us back down to reality. Why you do this to us? Why
the Evo chair is diabolical,
bro.
Why do you do this? Why do you have to do this? All right, so Maury, I want you to sound off on this next headline, because you called it. Microsoft has announced that they're delaying Avowed to 2025. So they've already gone back on a promise, saying that their games are going to be coming to Game Pass in 2024.
And to that, Germ, I would say, if only someone told you, got you fucking nerds, got you. Folks, I'm going to be a little more gracious than you would think. I actually did a lot of research into this. It sounds like Avowed is ready. It sounds like it's good to go. It sounds like the end of the year was a little too packed for Microsoft's liking. I don't understand why putting it into 2025 makes it any less packed with the fact that they already have like a ton of first-party titles coming out in 2025. Regardless, this is telling. I don't think Avowed is in a bad place, but I do think that their comfortability with delaying something after continuously telling us it was 2024, you knew what games were coming out.
Well,
you knew
I would call up the FTC right now. I'd call up the FTC. We talked about it last week. Like, we were on their ass about them like being sleazy business, and this for me is direct false advertising. They did that showcase to hype up Game Pass and to get people to subscribe to it, and they're already going back on promises already.
And I would like to remind everyone, it's August, and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle still doesn't have a release date.
Yeah.
No.
Hold on.
That's gonna get pushed.
I said it when we watched the show, when we watched it live, like too good to be true. And so far, it seems to be trending in that direction. Sad but true,
If only someone on Gamer Actual said it. Oh wait. So we'll see.
Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape. Go back to the previous episodes, folks. Yeah, I think
they called me
10.
a madman for giving it an 8.5. They called me a madman. They called me a madman. They were wrong.
No, I'm done.
I think it was episode 13. Go back to that episode and you'll see what's up. With how we predicted this.
I agree with
guys. Go.
I think you did. I think Hades did.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah. No, Hades is clear here, but these nerds in here, God, these fossils.
No, I said it.
I wasn't sure what to say.
I am on camera saying it, guys. You can't deny me this. I'm on camera saying it.
Listen, guys, you can go back to the episode 13. Go check out Gamer Actual at youtube.com/Gamer Actual.
It was
13.
13 would have been my first episode on. It would have been like 17, 18.
It was between 13 and 16, somewhere in that range.
Yeah,
it was the Xbox
I'll check right now because I made that an official episode because that Sunday we had another showcase, so we didn't have an episode.
So I said buyer beware. Like I'm hyped for everything they said, but we need to take this with too good to be true type of mentality until it's actually proven to exist or proven until they deliver. Buyer beware.
Yeah,
I said it.
Yeah.
Oh, we are now at 40 followers on YouTube. That's what's up. Thank you guys. Thank you guys
for all those followers.
Let's go.
Yeah. The last episode. Where were we last episode?
I don't remember. 30 something.
36, 37.
Maybe.
So we gained like 3-4 more followers. That's what's up. That's progress.
Thank you guys. All right, so that I promise, guys, that's going to be the last sleazy self-promotion we do for the rest of this episode. I apologize for doing that to you guys. So that pretty much wraps the show up. What was the question? You said you wanted
16, episode 16.
What was the question this week? You wanted it to be Cash?
Capcom.
What's our favorite Capcom title?
Favorite Capcom game. Yeah, but they're doing so well. I think it's only right that we make that.
But what's the results of the last week's question?
All right, so the results of the last week's question. Let's pull that up on
God,
stream.
These nerds. I know these nerds failed me. I haven't looked at it since last weekend.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now.
Wait.
You guys right now.
Wait, Cash. Before you dive into that, I want to give the chat here that's here. We have some new faces. Please go to the YouTube channel and vote before Cash clicks on this link because Marissa, Sagat, and Spider-Man need some votes right now because I saw before the show started.
You guys are fucking haters.
It's a mid lineup. Right. It's a mid lineup, folks. It's a mid lineup.
I saw before the show started where my team was, and I need you guys to lift me up here.
Hold on,
you guys are haters.
If I entertain you for 1 second in the show, I'm asking you for the solidest favorite ever.
No. Ignore him.
I need my team, Sagat, Marissa, Spider-Man, to rally right now in the next 30 to 45 seconds.
No. Listen.
I mean,
listen.
I don't know.
Can you do that for me?
Blade, Nightcrawler,
right
Mr.
here,
X.
And I need you guys to vote for Sagat, Marissa, Spider-Man.
No. Don't listen. Chat, don't listen to him. Blade, Nightcrawler, Mr. X. Phenomenal team. We're so close. I want you to know that he has no chance of winning. He's at 15%. Brother, give me a shot. I'm at 23. We can still catch the leader.
No, you're not. Who's the leader? Who's the leader? Well,
I'm not going to say it. You got to pull it up.
Hey, thank you.
After some
I need you guys to rally behind your boy here, and please help me out if you can.
Do not abandon me.
If you haven't cast a vote already, I'm asking for your vote.
Let's refresh.
Fucking abandon me.
Let's refresh.
I'm gonna give it. Let's give it till 10:00. Let's give it to 10:02. 10:02 here.
God, you're such a dick rider, Cash. You're such a dick rider. Such a fucking dick rider. God.
All right, we're gonna pull it up.
Look at this dude.
Look at this dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the teams.
Oh, let's see.
Who is the
such a
better
bum.
Marvel versus
You're such a
Capcom for
bum.
Dream Team?
You're such a
See,
bum.
number one was before we say anything. Let's look at that one. Number one is Wolverine, Black Panther, Leon S. Kennedy at 43%, bro. You know, that's an amazing number.
You're such
Well,
a
let's know.
bum.
Before I think I jumped the gun here. Let's start from the bottom. All right. At the lowest one, Jury, Cable, Cyclops at 7%. That was Heartless.
Who voted for No, I was ahead of Sagat, Marissa, and Spider-Man. Who the fuck voted for that shit? God damn it. God damn it.
And now we have a tie between Sagat, Marissa, and Spider-Man, Silver Surfer, Shiva, and Phoenix Wright, both sitting at 14%. Blade, Nightcrawler, and Mr. X are sitting at 21%. And at first place,
Man,
Wolverine, Black Panther.
You guys, look at that team on paper. Sagat, you have your long range. You have your Marissa, which is your brawler, your damage, and then you have Spider-Man, which is your speed assist. You guys fail me here. Like that team on paper rocks. That is a good team.
Also, let's stop for a second and appreciate we had 14 views this time around, which is awesome. Thank you guys again. We are definitely growing in terms of like voting. So
now hold on. I need to say something for the integrity of the vote. Though it puts me at a disadvantage, Cash, I need you to refresh the page, brother.
Why?
I just cheat. No, somebody else voted and put me at a disadvantage. I need you to refresh the page.
Who put you at a disadvantage?
Me and Germ are now.
All right, let's freaking
damn
go.
you fuckers.
Whoever it is that gave me that vote.
God damn you. God damn you.
But you know what's crazy? But you know what's still right? Exactly. Thank you.
Destiny Geek, you're my dude. I appreciate you. But on paper, that is a perfectly balanced team. So Hades, you gotta give me this. That is a perfectly
This is a rush down team
that I put on paper.
I don't play team fighters. I don't know nothing about no team balance.
This is a great rush down team. I don't care what anybody has to say. Black Panther and Leon S. Kennedy. You probably have Leon S. Kennedy as like a keep away with like a one of those little shoot things. Yeah. Or I'm just saying. You have Wolverine as the rush down Berserker Claw.
So the question that's this week. So we're going with what's your favorite
what's your favorite
franchise?
Yeah.
So obviously Monster Hunter's up there. We have Street Fighter. We have Resident Evil. Mega Man.
Wait, give me a second. Next time we're gonna start doing picture polls, like image polls. Next up, we're gonna start doing that. Hell, let's do it right now. Shit, I don't see why not. Resident Evil. We'll put that.
Resident Evil, Monster Hunter. We have Mega Man, Street Fighter, and let's add two more. What are two? Let's do like one main one and one like a really obscure one. Dead Rising, I guess that's one. Devil May Cry. Those are like probably the big boys.
Devil May Cry is good. Devil May Cry is a good one. So let's both. So Resident Evil.
But let's leave Dead Rising off. Forget that franchise.
Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry.
Just better.
Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter. Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fifth one, just leave like blank. Someone can write one in.
No, the rest are the comments because I can't add anymore.
Oh, okay.
Monster Hunter. Pinksy, you got to go over there and vote.
What's a really obscure Capcom one that only like if you know would know?
Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins is a good one. Yeah, you're right. But there it is, guys. Capcom. if you guys can hit us with some curveballs that would make me go, oh shit, then who knows? You probably get a gifted sub next time. I'm just saying.
Boom.
Hit us with a curveball.
Beautiful.
All right, go sending that out. Guys, you can comment. Just send those in the comments. Send engagement in the comments. That will help a lot. I posted the poll. So go on over there and vote, and you guys will see what the outcome is by next episode, which is next week. Oh shit.
I'm genuinely so
All
bitter.
kind of spitting.
I'm just so bitter.
Bionic Commando, Beautiful
Good
Joe,
Lord,
Okami,
Ace Attorney, Darkstalkers. Good Lord.
I could see the comment one winning this time, like the comment vote part.
Yeah, the comment vote might be winning.
Yeah,
because a lot of those are gonna be like some. Oh shit, I forgot those. Oh shit, those are dope. And I'll try my best to. We will try our best to engage with you guys over there as well in the comment section. We're trying to build the YouTube over there as like of its own viable platform. So go on over there, engage with it. We're growing, guys. We're growing. Like think about where we started with this. When we just started this channel, guys, on YouTube, we had nothing, and we weren't really promoting it.
What is it? A spit in a prayer, or wherever that phrase goes.
We didn't start promoting until we got to like episode, I want to say 13, 14.
It wasn't until Mori came aboard.
And by the time Mori came on board, we were already at 25, and we weren't promoting it.
So next week we have episode 25. I think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be possible without everyone here that has supported us from day one, especially like people like Bello Legends, Pinksy. Yep. You guys have literally been here from the moment the show goes live.
Hades, don't forget Hades, till he's now to the point now he's a part of the guest host. Like, bro, come on.
So we wouldn't be here without y'all. Like we like Game Informer earlier, we touched on it. Like what we're doing is really important, and reporting the news directly to you guys, unbiased, so that you can, up to a point, Street Fighter, but we
also shameless plug. I have a video coming out this week. It's gonna be talking about Silicon Knights, just the rise and fall of Silicon Knights. If y'all are into stuff like that, like video game history, go check it out. The channel is Cashcrow. So YouTube/Cashcrow is KASHCROE. Go check it out.
That's dope.
And I have a bunch of other content as well if y'all want to go check those out. So
thank you for coming on, Hades. Before we go, tell us where people can find you.
You can find me streaming at Demon Hours at twitch.tv/xlordxhades, and then you can find my stream archive at youtube.com/c/xlordxhades.
And then Mori, what you got cooking? Where can people find you?
You can usually find me at twitch.tv/GWTMori. Truthfully, I've not been streaming. I've had a lot of work with the nonprofit I work for, and I'm also officiating a wedding this Friday. So I've been busy writing the speech for the nonprofit. It's been a lot, but I will be back in somewhat normal effect here in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, when I get everything with my schedule for classes figured out. So yeah, you'll see me there. You'll see me there on
Sedina. Don't forget, this guy needs to touch some grass, and you make that happen.
Please.
66 platinums, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Where you can find me is Germ6760. I don't stream that often, but there's a link in the bio to the X Element socials. You'll find everything you want to know about the team X Element and what we do, who we support. We're there, but we would very much appreciate your follow. Wow, what a banger show, guys! Like seriously. This show kind of wasn't wasn't as upbeat as previous shows we've had, because it was kind of some somber news. But overall, I think we killed it. I really think we did.
Yeah, again, just big shout out to Hades. Hades, you're always such a phenomenal guest. You're a phenomenal part of the show. You're a phenomenal part of the chat. Thanks for giving us your time and your expertise when it comes to all things Bungie. I always love getting to shoot the shit with you, man. Seriously, you're awesome.
Yeah,
We
I
need to find
appreciate
some
you, man.
games
It's
that we
always
can
great
play
being here.
together. We need to
Before
find
we
some
go
games that we
though,
can play together,
I have
Hades.
one more shout out to give, as we're
Mhm.
missing a very important member of our panel here today.
Yes.
The Heartless_99 on Twitch.
Mhm.
Fabulous dude. It's a shame he wasn't able to be here today, but you know, you're always in our hearts. You're always in our hearts, Heartless, and we're gonna shout you out regardless. He streams regularly Street Fighter, usually in the late evening hours, East Coast hours. Show him the love. He'll I hate to please, even though he wasn't here today, support his channel. You won't regret it.
Oh yes.
All right, folks. We're nearing the end of our show, but it's time for our affiliate links. Folks, we have 3. Yeah, that's pretty. I'm not gonna lie, I got a decent trumpet. That wasn't my best trumpet, but we'll work on it, folks. We have 3 affiliate links for you today. First up is Origin PC. But before I jump into Origin PC, again, shout out to the home team. Shout out to Cash and Germ and Heartless, even though he wasn't able to make the episode, for always putting on a great fucking show. It's always an honor to be on here with you guys. I love you very much. And again, Hades, you're a phenomenal guest. Thanks for giving us your expertise. Thanks for giving us your time. And yeah, be sure to support these gentlemen. And without further ado, are you looking to build the ultimate gaming PC? Then look no further than Origin PC. They're an award-winning PC building company, whether you're a gamer or a professional
Or you're kind of cutting out.
Oh, am I cutting out?
Yeah, you were.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, when the music comes on, my internet shits the bed. It can't stand the music as well.
Wow, I'll pause it. My bad.
No,
Shit.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's okay, folks. We're gonna go on like nothing happened, and now you get to hear Origin PC twice. Are you looking? No, fuck that. We're gonna go to GameFly. GameFly, looking for the ultimate gaming experience without breaking the bank? With GameFly, you can rent discs hassle-free. Dive into unlimited gaming and snag great deals on used games and movies. Use GameFly to check out games you're not so sure about, and once you've decided, you can buy it outright at a discounted price or send it back with no problem. Want to pause your subscription? You can do that too at any time. GameFly makes it easy to check out games on your terms. Just click the affiliate link in the show notes to get started. Any qualifying purchase will result in us getting a commission at no extra cost to you. Fanatical is the one-stop shop for over 1 million passionate gamers. Oof, that was word salad. Everybody set up a prayer for me real quick. I just had a stroke. I'm smelling burning toast. Folks, Fanatical is the one-stop shop for over 1 million passionate gamers like you. Whether you're craving the latest AAA titles, hunting for indie gems, or searching for incredible deals on your favorite games, Fanatical has you covered. With a massive selection and unbeatable prices, you're sure to get your gaming fix. Just click the link in the show notes of this podcast.
That's what's up. But yeah, yeah, tonight was an amazing show, guys. So with all that said, we are going to bout out. Do you guys have somebody you would like to raid out to? Before we do any of that, by the way, just do our regular stuff. Again, thank you guys. I want to shout out everybody who was participating in the chat tonight. Ezo Plays, Hollow Shy, Lord Hades for both being in chat and being a part of the panel. Destiny Geek, Luke Newcomb, Pinksy Gaming, Bellow Legends, Reaper PC. I see every single one of you guys, and most of you guys are returning every week to the podcast. So we really appreciate that, because that gives us a lot more energy and what us to makes us want to keep going. You know what I mean? So it's just an amazing time, and I can tell that we're growing because we see more and more new faces show up and participate. So thank you guys so much. But right now we're gonna raid out to the homie Project 8. He was also in the chat, so shout out to Project as well. I didn't know he was live, but we're gonna raid out to him. Please tell him the boys over at Gamer Actual sent ya. Make sure you give him a follow if y'all ain't following already. That said, been your boys at Gamer Actual. We out of here. Peace. Let me see. Did it show up? It came up, right? Yeah, it is. All right. Have a good night, y'all. Peace. Oh. This is my first time without a hat, by the way. I just noticed that.
Yeah, you said you were gonna put it on. You didn't.
No, you had an episode without a hat like a week or two ago. I remember because I was like, "Yo, I've never seen Cash without a hat."
You'd think the hairline was busted with how often he wears a hat, but it's actually crisp.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's just I love wearing hats.
No, I get it. I was thinking because you were such a fossil, maybe the hairline was gone. I wasn't sure.
Damn, that's crazy.
You are a prick. Goodbye. Yeah, I just edited it. I just wanted to rate out.